off for you.
Thanks. Are you ready for some football?
The Dallas Cowboys have been merrily riding along for the past few years. They've won the Super Bowl in 3 of the last 4 seasons. But this year, the Cowboys have taken some hits and been sent reeling. Opening night in Chicago, the Cowboys' loss left them scrambling to get on board the winner's wagon. When the Colts came to Dallas, a field goal attempt to win the game hit the crossbar. The loss hit Dallas hard. On to Buffalo last week. But Troy Aikman and the Cowboys were cut down once again, thrown for yet another loss. Now the Super Bowl champions are on the run, and Troy Aikman knows it.
We're going to test the resolve of this football team and see what type of characters we have, and I believe we're going to make a run at this thing.
The Cowboys better get moving before the season ends up a disaster. Only the strong survive in the wild, wild Eastern Division of the NFC. So it's off to Philadelphia for a big game with the Eagles on ABC Monday Night Football.
Target, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia on a beautiful autumn evening, the temperature around 64 degrees, a perfect night for football. Veterans Stadium sold out. It will be rocking like this city has been rocking because the Dallas Cowboys have come to town. Tonight on Monday Night Football, it's the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Hello again, everyone. Frank Gifford with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf, and this stadium will be rocking tonight. Happy you are with us. A terrific matchup tonight, the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles off to a good start on this young season, 3-1, but they need a win tonight to stay with surprising Washington in the NFC East. Meanwhile, hurting Dallas Cowboys, they limp in here tonight. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles back in January, but this is a different team than beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs. And they come in at 1-3, the very bottom of the Eastern Division of the NFC. And now this is a team that's hurt. It's been characterized as a wounded animal, a desperate team. It could be that this game will define their entire season, however.
Not only characterized as desperate, but that word has come out of the Cowboy camp all week. Barry Switzer has used it quite a few times. The problem with Dallas is offense. It's throwing the football. They don't have anyone to throw to because their receivers, Michael Irvin is still suspended, Jay Novacek is still hurt, and now Kevin Williams is hurt. So Troy Aikman really doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to. Defensively, this team is playing very well, good enough to win every game. But to win tonight, they need a big night from Emmitt Smith, and that's easier said than done of late since he's been dinged all season. And he's averaging a very un-Emmitt-like 3.3 yards per carry. If he has a big night, they have a very good chance to win. If he doesn't, they have very little chance. Also worth noting tonight, Barry Switzer was the head coach at Oklahoma for 16 years. Now in his 3rd year with Dallas, he has been the head coach of 231 football games. Never in his career, ever, has he lost 3 games in a row. That string in jeopardy tonight as they come into Philadelphia, Dan. It's a huge game for Dallas. In a way, though, just as big for the Eagles.
You know, Al, when the schedule comes out, the Eagles they see when the Super Bowl is and when the Pro Bowl is, but they circled this date first. September 30th, Monday night, their first shot at the Dallas Cowboys, their dreaded enemy. Last year, the Cowboys took them apart in the playoffs. The Eagles thought they got no respect afterwards, and they've looked at it this way. Ray Rhodes says, what I'm doing here in Philadelphia is like building a house. They feel that they've laid the foundation. They put up a wall. Well, they get to put up the whole first floor tonight if they're able to beat the Cowboys. And how do they do it? Well, offensively, when they won last year in their one game against the Cowboys, they did it with Ricky Watters carrying the football 33 times. We're going to have to see a big effort out of Watters tonight. And defensively, it's very simple. Al talked about the fact the Cowboys can't throw. They're going to take their cornerback, Troy Vincent, lock him up on Deion Sanders, and they're going to commit the other 10 guys to stopping the Dallas running game. Down on the field, though, is our other partner. That's Lynn Swan, and he's with Ray Rhodes right now.
Thank you very much, Dan. Ray, if you can come away with a win tonight, you come up with a 3-game lead on the Cowboys. We know the win's important, but what kind of leverage does that give you?
Well, first of all, Washington right now is won yesterday, and it puts a lot of pressure on us to win tonight. They're 4-1 at this time. We want to be 4-1 also. I'm not concerned about what it does to the Cowboys. I'm concerned what it does to our football team, and we need a win right now.
We've talked about the injuries and the problems Dallas has had, but the gun in Dallas isn't empty. They have a lot of weapons. What's the key matchup for you this evening?
The matchup's going to be in the lines, offense and defensive lines. We have to play well in those areas.
Coach, good luck to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Al?
All right, thank you, Len. Just a perfect night for a football game or for anything else. Temperature in the low 70s. High pressure system over the east today. Gorgeous night in Philly, and the place rocking at the outset as Chris Boniol tees it off to kick off for the Dallas Cowboys. And back deep to receive for the Philadelphia Eagles, Derek Witherspoon, who ran a kickoff back for a touchdown against Atlanta last week. And Mark Sabe back there with him as well. From rocking Philadelphia, here we go as Boniol sends it down to the 8-yard line, and Witherspoon comes back to the short side of the field and gets run out of bounds up at the 28-yard line by Darren Woodson. Now the Eagles, guided by Rodney Peete, who took over for Randall Cunningham in Game 5 last year and is 12-4 in his 16 games as the Eagles starter. And with him, Ricky Waters in the backfield, Kevin Turner, the blocking back, Irving Fryer and Chris T. Jones outside, and Jason Dunn out of Eastern Kentucky, the rookie tight end. Brooks, Panos, Mackenzie Holmes, and Cooper, the front five. From the 28-yard line, first down, Philadelphia. Turner, the fullback. Waters, the tailback, and it's Ricky behind Turner to the outside, and then taken down, an arm tackle by Tony Tolbert, reaching out with the right arm to knock him down. And here is the Dallas defensive alignment tonight, the 4-3 with Tolbert, Hennings, Lett, and McCormick. The front four, Charles Haley out with a bad back here, but not in uniform. Thomas, Strickland, and Smith are the linebackers, and Kevin Smith made a comeback from Achilles surgery last year with Dion on the other side. Marion and Woodson are the safeties, and there is Charles Haley, who's been told to rest for a couple of weeks. Didn't play last week, won't play tonight. They have a bye week next week because of the bad back. On 2nd and 7, Peete, the short drop, and hits Ricky Waters, who sneaks the first down as Darren Smith makes the tackle, and Ricky Waters, with that extra effort, does pick up the first.
Ricky Waters, now in his 6th year, has really emerged as the offensive power for the Philadelphia Eagles, both running the football and receiving the football. He is having a superb year. They use him out of the backfield as a receiver. This is the West Coast offense, the old cliche now, but they do it with the kind of a Ray Rhodes touch or a John Gruden touch. He is the offensive coordinator. They really keep Ricky Waters in the game, running or receiving.
Well, you saw his listed weight there at 217 pounds. He's actually more like 225 or 226, and you see how that added power has aided Ricky Waters' game. Darren Smith makes contact with Waters. Waters takes him for about a 5-yard ride and the first down. That's a newfound aspect of Ricky Waters' game that has really, really helped him pick up extra yardage in key situations right there to start this game.
Ricky off to an excellent start this year, averaging 4.9 yards per carry, in contrast to, as we mentioned at the top, Emmitt Smith averaging just 3.3. Peete on first down from the 40, stays in the pocket and then throws incomplete, intended for Chris T. Jones over the middle. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
The Dallas Cowboys' problems have been primarily on their offense, even though Charles Haley is the big performer on the defensive unit, the man who puts the pressure on the passer. But their defense has played rather well. After their 4 games, they were 2nd overall. Their defense has only given up 4 touchdowns to their opponent's offenses, so they're not playing that poorly on this side of the ball.
Well, the one guy up front, Frank, who is really dominating is Leon Lett. The big cat has had good years in the past, but this is his best start ever. He hasn't been blocked yet this year.
They're going to try to rotate people in against him tonight. Guy McIntyre and Joe Panis.
2nd down and 10. And Ricky Waters takes it up to the 43-yard line. That's Tony Tolbert, the left end, along with Darren Woodson in on the tackle and setting up a 3rd down and 6.
Tony Tolbert there is another reason the Dallas Cowboy defense is playing so much better. Tony had multiple surgeries after the season last year, had both knees worked on, an elbow, and he is back where he's playing pain-free, and he was a darn good player before those injuries slowed him down, and he's back to that level or maybe above it.
Well, he only had Haley active on the other side. Right now he's drawing pretty much double coverage.
3rd and with Fryer in motion. And Pete the deep drop, and then he throws underneath, and the catch is made by Jones, who reaches for what appears to be a first down. Chris T. Jones making the catch at the 49 and then trying to suck the extra yard out of it.
Well, Chris T. Jones has really come on. He was a third-round draft pick a year ago and played behind the likes of Fred Barnett and Calvin Williams. They're both gone, but I'll tell you, if Chris T. Jones will come across the middle, as will their other wide receiver, Irving Fryer. You need that in Ray Rhodes' West Coast offense. It's short passes, they're high percentage passes, but they are tough on the receivers.
Joe Panos and Barrett Brooks both put a shoulder on Leon Lett, but he still drops Rodney Peete. Good job by Rodney of sitting in there, waiting for his receiver to make the break. And so far, 2 first downs for the Philadelphia Eagles, both on excellent second efforts. The first by Ricky Watters, the second one by Chris T. Jones. Those were 2 situations that could have ended up being punts. Instead, first downs for the Eagles.
Well, long drives have characterized the Philadelphia offense this season. They've done so well with drives of 80 yards or more.
From the 50-yard line, here's Waters, and the Eagles try to mount a long drive, and it was a long drive on the game's opening drive last week that did the Cowboys in. Buffalo had the ball for almost the entire first quarter, marched the length of the field and scored, and that was the difference in a 10-7 Buffalo win. Ricky Waters handling the football, as you can see, almost 25 times a game as an Eagle, as opposed to his years with the 49ers, 1992 through 94.
Well, there's one concern. He does puff it up once in a while. That's his style of running, though. He's twisting, turning, he's struggling for every inch you can get out of it. Sometimes you lose it.
Pete on 2nd and 5. Throws to the fullback, Turner. Good move to get the first down. Tackled at the 34-yard line. Broke a would-be Darren Woodson tackle that would have created a third down, and instead he picks up Philadelphia's 3rd successive first down. And Barry Switzer thinking about last week's Buffalo drive, and this looks like a repeat right here.
And go all the way back, Alan Frank, through the beginning of this season. If the defense has had a problem, it has been sloppy tackling and missed tackling. And right here, Turner, a big fullback who you don't really think is that nifty, makes Darren Woodson, many people think the best strong safety in the game, come up with a clean whip. Tremendous play there by Turner.
4 minutes into the game with no score, a fumble as Kevin Turner gives up the football, and somehow the Eagles come up with it. Jason Dunn, the tight end, comes up with the football.
I thought Leon Lett had it initially. It looked like the cat fell right on the football, and then it kept squirting loose.
The Eagles with a break. They'll lose almost 4 yards out of it, but a big break. It did look like Leon Lett was going to be all over that ball. Let's take a look. Turner, I don't know whether he ever controlled. He never controlled the ball. Looking where he was going to run instead of making sure he had the football. He just never controlled it.
Rodney actually got in there. Looked like Rodney Peete got in there and swiped the ball away from Leon Lett and kept it alive.
This is a 2nd and 15, and that's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. That's the 9th play of the drive, and there is Leon Lett getting his big hand on it with 10-17 to go in the first quarter and no score.
Thank you for not calling it a paw. Don't you get tired people? He got his big paw on the ball. Put that baby to rest.
He's 6'6". He's blocked a lot of kicks. He's deflected so many passes. He has an uncanny way of timing his jump against the quarterback's delivery.
Well, he has just blossomed into such a complete player.
3rd down now at 15. 4 wide receivers sent out into their various patterns, and Pete has to step up and step out, and Rodney looking for the first down and runs into his own man before Brock Marion shoves him out. He ran up the back of Chris T. Jones, and he's out of bounds inside the 30-yard line, so Gary Anderson will come out on 4th down and attempt about a 47-yard field goal.
This is right on the edge of what I think Anderson's range is. This is an area of the field where Ray Rhodes is a lot of time prone to go for field position instead of the points.
Gary's been around a little bit. Yeah. So many years with Pittsburgh, and years ago he kicked one 55 yards, but that was about 11 years ago.
It would not have surprised me at all to see the Eagles punt in this situation.
47-yarder on a very still night, and Anderson bangs it through. The Eagle drive consumes 5 minutes, 13 seconds. And early on in Philly, it's the Eagles 3 and the Cowboys nothing. The Cowboy offense after the Eagles move down the field, and Gary Anderson kicks a 46-yard field goal officially. Herschel Walker, who played here in Philadelphia, back to receive the kick. And Tommy Hutton moons it into the end zone. And now a look at that Dallas Cowboy offense, missing several key components. They will get Michael Irvin back for their next game. His suspension ends tonight at midnight. Troy Aikman, 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, with Emmett Smith and Darrell Johnson in the backfield. Kelvin Martin and Deion Sanders, the wideouts, and Bjornson replacing the injured Novacek. Then Tuanay, Newton, Donaldson, Allen, and Williams, that famous front 5, each a Pro Bowl veteran, but a front 5 that's not playing quite in sync to the extent they have been in recent times. From the 20-yard line, first down, Dallas. And they begin with Emmett Smith, who cuts behind a Johnston block and is tackled by Fuller after a gain of 5. 2nd and 5. Let's take a look at the Philly defensive unit with Fuller, Kevin Johnson, Red Hall, the ex-49er, and Mike Mamula, last year's #1 draft choice up front. The linebackers are Woodard Willis and William Thomas, who had 2 interceptions last week and 7 picks last year. Vincent, the ex-Dolphin, with Taylor. At the corners, Zordich and Brian Dawkins, a rookie from Clemson, who has won the starting job at free safety.
And if you want to look at bad blood, go to William Fuller and Eric Williams.
All night long.
Yep.
Here's Emmett Smith going next to nowhere. Gets across the 25, setting up a 3rd down and 4 with 9 minutes to go in the quarter.
Dallas is so big up front, and Philadelphia is trying to counter that. They're going to bring their safety up. Dan touched on it at the beginning. They're going to lock up Tony Vincent with Deion Sanders, not being terribly concerned with the other receivers, and then they're going to bring people up from the outside. The cornerbacks, the safety will be up. They're focusing on Emmett Smith. They feel he's the only way they can lose this football game.
3rd and 4. The Eagles with 6 defensive backs and some confusion defensively, with players running all over the joint, and Aikman can't take advantage of it, as Don Griffin, the longtime 49er veteran, knocks it down, and it's 3 and out for Dallas.
Troy could have easily picked up the first down on the ground. I think he thought he could squeeze that in there. A good play by Don Griffin, former 49er, been around a lot. He made a diving deflection.
One thing about Aikman, keep in mind how he finished that Buffalo game, twisted up. He hurt his knee and his ankle, and I would have to think all week long running was probably the last thing on his mind.
John Jett's a punt. Mark Say to bring it back. Good kick. Flag down. 48-yard punt. And a 9-yard return to the 35-yard line, but a marker down. Bob McElwee is the referee. The flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Ineligible man downfield against Dallas. Joe Avezzano looks on in wonderment.
Ineligible down on the kick. Number 34. That penalty is declined. First down.
That's Herschel Walker. So 8:10 to go in the opening quarter in Philadelphia. The Eagles leading the Cowboys 3-0. The Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes providing that shot. What a shot. South Philadelphia Veterans Stadium, facility that opened in 1970. As the Eagles on first down, Rodney Peete sets up the screen pass for Kevin Turner. It's incomplete. A lot of traffic there. 2nd and 10. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by the new Ford Expedition, the only way to get there. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. NEC, a world leader in multimedia technology. And Pepsid AC Acid Controller. You can be heartburn-free with Pepsid AC.
Interesting, Dan. Leon led on the sidelines. Tony Casillas. They do shuffle him around, but this early in the game, you wouldn't expect to see the Cowboys defense without Leon.
No, I agree, especially on a relatively cool night.
Waters on an inside handoff on 2nd and 10, picks up a yard.
Here comes the cat back out.
And Casillas made that last tackle, has let returns to the lineup.
Maybe had a mechanical problem of some type. He may have had some type of an equipment adjustment over on the sidelines.
And Charles Haley there with the bad back, and it's been a recurring problem for Haley, and he will sit out tonight and maybe one more game after the bye week. 3rd down and 8 from the 37. Eagles leading 3-0. Pete protected well, finds the open man, the fullback Turner, wide open, big gain to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, you just got to know that's something they picked up. That Dallas was doing a flaw in their defense on that given situation. It was a great call by John Gruden, the offensive coordinator. And they go to Kevin Turner. What a difference he's meant to this offense this year. They got it from New England a year ago. He was a good receiver and a good runner after he gets the football in his hands. Wide open, though.
Well, the Cowboys blitz to that side, but when you run a blitz to a side, when the receiver comes out, somebody's got to come across the formation and pick him up. A blow by the Cowboys.
41-yard pickup for a guy who caught 52 passes as a Patriot 2 years ago. And now Waters knifes his way inside the 20 to the 19, tackled by Darren Smith with 6.5 minutes to play in the opening quarter, and the Eagles on top 3-0.
I mean, Turner being a receiver is no secret to any team in this league. He has been a quality receiver for a long time. He played in New England, had over 50 catches 1 year there, had 11 for almost a 10-yard average coming into tonight. This guy is an extremely good lead blocker, but he's a fine receiver out of the backfield as well. That shouldn't have surprised the Cowboys.
2nd and 6 from the 18-yard line. Great protection. He has time, but the coverage is there as they try to go to Turner, but this time Broderick Thomas with him step for step. The linebacker covering him, blanketing him. The Eagles now in the red zone inside the 20-yard line. And here is tonight's Coca-Cola red zone fact. This season, inside the 20, you can see the Bills have allowed a touchdown just 17% of the time. Cowboys next best, 20%. So they're in that situation right here where they've been tough. 2 times in 10 penetrations this season have the Cowboys allowed a touchdown in the red zone. This is number 11. 3rd down and 6 from the 18-yard line as Pete throws underneath. Chris T. Jones looks for that first down and pays the price, but gets the first down as he's tackled by Strickland.
And we talked earlier about how Jones and Irving Fryer, the other wide receiver, they'll work well over the middle. They have full concentration on the football. Jones is big. He's 6'3", 210, 215 pounds, and he is willing to take the shot that this offense calls for. And there's a guy who would take one, too, Ray Rhodes. He's as tough as they come, their head coach.
What did he say to us last night, Frank? I don't want any pretty boys running on the sidelines. My receivers have to go over the middle and take some shots. There was a darn good look at it right there of what kind of physical play these Eagle receivers are willing to play with.
And Ricky Waters into that Cowboy defense coached by Dave Campo. You just saw him a moment ago as his defense tries to stiffen here. The Eagles can get a first down without a touchdown as they start from just outside the 10. It's now 2nd and 8.
Ray Rhodes has turned this team over. There's only 8 Eagles left of the 57 that when he arrived here, only last year. This is his football team. Make no mistake about it. And a couple of good players with Jones and Fryer, and they're developing a real fine tight end, Jason Dunn.
8 players and no coaches from Rich Kotite's staff of 2 years ago. 2nd and 8. Waters busts it to the 2-yard line, a little short of the first down. Strickland makes the tackle. It's going to be 3rd and about a yard for a first down, and maybe a little less than 2 for the touchdown.
Well, when Ray Rhodes got to Philadelphia, he knew a part of his ball club that needed an overhaul and needed to get better was his offensive line. And look at the way this group has started. That's 73. That's Lester Holmes. Richard Cooper at right tackle. Panos pulls around the block of Raleigh McKenzie. And they're blowing the Cowboys off the ball.
Did you see what they did to Chad Hennings, 95?
They just took him 5 yards off the ball.
3rd and 1 as they spread out on the 3rd and 1. And Pete rolls out and then throws incomplete to Ricky Waters. A most interesting call here on a 3rd down and 1 with Randall Godfrey covering on the play.
I can only assume that when he calls a pass on 3rd down, it's because he's planning on going for it on 4th. And that's what the Eagles are going to do.
This is Ray Rhodes' decision. And he'll leave it up to
It's really
to make the call.
I think that's a very good throw by Rodney. It looked like Ricky got his leg caught behind him and didn't really get much of an extension to make that catch.
Will the Eagles go for it? We'll find out. In the meantime, they take a timeout. 3:53 left in the quarter. The Eagles totally dominant to this point in this period, but leading only 3-0, and a critical play coming up against the Cowboy defensive unit that's given up only 4 touchdowns in 4 games this season, tying the Colts for the fewest allowed. But they have to dig in here on a 4th and 1. The Eagles can get a first down without a touchdown from the 1.5-yard line. And to Waters, and he scores. He broke the Darren Woodson tackle, and it wasn't the cleanest handoff you've ever seen.
Ricky Waters making the decision to take it to the outside against the, well, Dan characterized him as one of the best defensive safeties, maybe the best at supporting the run, Darren Woodson, and he beat Darren Woodson.
Coming into this season, most people would acknowledge that number 28 is the best tackling strong safety in the NFL. Ricky, this is all Ricky, bouncing it to the outside. Here's Woodson. He doesn't even make a dent on Ricky Waters. A dominating drive by the Eagles.
Gary Anderson bangs it through after the 50th touchdown of Ricky Waters' career. 3:48 remaining in the first period as the Eagles score on a 4th down call and lead 10-0. Darren Woodson sitting down, venting his frustration as the Cowboy defensive unit came off the field, and it's been that sort of a first quarter for the Dallas Cowboys. They're already bloodied and bruised, down 10-0 as the kickoff is taken by Herschel Walker at the 7-yard line, and Herschel Walker has busted one as he takes it into Philadelphia territory to the 42-yard line. So just when the Cowboys needed to be jump-started, it's the ex-Eagle who does it, and Joe Avezzano exhorts him from the sideline.
And the last kickoff he ran back for a touchdown, he ran back several, was when he was a Philadelphia Eagle. And still a great athlete. He had those great years in the USFL before he even came to the National Football League. Of course, very celebrated career with the Dallas Cowboys, Minnesota Vikings, Philadelphia Eagles, the Giants, and now back to his roots, the Cowboys.
49-yard return by Herschel Walker, and now Aikman to the air on first down, throwing, and it is caught by Kelvin Martin. Kmart, the once and present Cowboy, started his career with Dallas, then went to Seattle and Philadelphia, was out on the street, but because of all of the problems, they bring him back, and now he's a starter. 16-yard gain.
Significant, though, even though it's a completed pass, and it's really just a nice hook pattern right at the first down marker by Martin. Troy Aikman takes a shot. Mark Woodard hit him on the blitz. He ended up on the ground. This is a banged-up quarterback. He can't take a lot of that tonight.
First down from the 28-yard line, and they give it to Emmitt Smith. He picks up a yard, taking it to the 27-yard line. Tackled there by William Fuller. Emmitt Thomas is the Eagle defensive coordinator when Ray Rhodes got the job. One of his first hires was Emmitt Thomas, who has been around.
Did a great job in his game plan last week against the Atlanta Falcons, and Emmitt Thomas is in that position where people are starting to talk about that he's going to end up being a head coach in this league.
Well, of course, he had all those years with the Washington Redskins. Yeah. Ray Rhodes, unfamiliar with the NFC East, and he picked the man, Emmitt Thomas, to guide his defense.
2nd and 9 out of a split back set with Emmitt Smith on the bench for the moment, and the pass is incomplete. James Willis helped to break that up on the blitz, number 50.
When you blitzing the Dallas Cowboys, and in particular Troy Aikman, is something that people just did not do, because when they had Michael Irvin, when they had Novacek, they had the talent to make you pay. Now blitzing the Cowboys, as we've seen from the very beginning on our opening Monday night game with the Bears, has become routine. The Chicago Bears, Frank, are seeing more blitzes than anything else.
Dan, some wasn't where they should have been. Troy Aikman, that would be right. He was looking for the checkoff man. He wasn't there.
3rd down and 9 from the 27. Draw. Emmitt Smith inside the 20 for the first down, and runs right over Barry Wilburn to the 11-yard line. With 2 minutes to go in the quarter, and the Cowboys in need of something big, and who better to give you something big than that man?
Just out of frustration, I think he was looking for an Eagle to hit. big opening over in the left side. They stuffed this earlier. This zone block over there. And a good one by Mark Tuanay and Nate Newton. They opened a big hole. And watch this. Emmitt Smith just looking for someone to crunch.
Boy, they found the soft spot in the Eagle defense there. They were undermanned to that side.
Well, they're very small over there, too.
That was Dallas's longest run of the season, 17 yards. And then on a play in which we get a flag, it's Emmitt Smith who might have lost the football, but gets it back at the 10-yard line. Marker down. Smith, of course, we saw him on opening night in Chicago. And
I think they were in motion. The Cowboys looked like Emmitt Smith wasn't set.
Illegal motion.
It is.
Number 22. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That scary night in Chicago, opening night with a neck, and he's taken off the field. Then he injured his knee in preseason, ankle and rib injuries as well. He is really beaten up.
But he was the hitter rather, not the hitty, as he took it to Barry Wilburn on the carry before, but came back, and it's a mental mistake by Emmitt that cost the Cowboys 5 yards. He was still moving at the snap of the football, trying to get into his stance.
Mentioned the Eagles being small. They do not have a linebacker starting that weighs 240 pounds. Their right defensive end, Mamula, is a 250-pound defensive end. And you would think the Cowboys, with their massive offensive line, could just dominate.
It is 1st and goal after the penalty from the 15-yard line. Swing pass, Emmitt Smith. And Smith picks up 9 to the 6-yard line. Brian Dawkins, the rookie out of Clemson, who has won the starting job at free safety, makes the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
When he is a fine-looking rookie, second-round draft pick who just earned his way into a starting role. He's a good tackler, as you see right here, taking Emmitt Smith on one-on-one open field. But he also is a good cover safety, and they are hard to come by in the National Football League. This is a good one.
It's a daunting task starting as a rookie at free safety, and now you begin to see what Ray Rhodes sees in Brian Dawkins. That's a big-time play against a big-time player.
2nd down and goal. The fake, the bootleg right. The throw is a little high and incomplete, intended for Ty J. Armstrong, the tight end. 3rd down and goal. Zordich covering on the play. Armstrong picked up just before the start of the season, 6'4" and 277.
And this is the area where Michael Irvin is so important to the Cowboys with his height and his ability to go up and come down with the football, even though he's covered. Troy Aikman, how many times do you recall seeing him throw to Irvin even when he was covered?
Good coverage by Zordich. He was all over it.
Kevin Williams, foot injury. He's on the shelf. He had been their #1 wideout. 3rd and goal. Aikman throws back to the end zone, caught for the touchdown by Eric Bjornson. Bjornson, an emerging tight end, and with Novacek gone and maybe for the season, Bjornson will play a vital role in the success or lack thereof for the Cowboys this year.
And every guy on this Cowboy offensive team, when they complete this extra point, should run over and thank Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker got this started with that kickoff return.
Took it out to the Eagles' 44-yard line. But Bjornson has a good-looking career. He's a lot like the missing Jay Novacek. He was a wide receiver at Washington, has bulked up a little bit, big enough to play tight end.
That's Bjornson's first NFL touchdown, and Boniol's extra point is good.
Oh, he'll catch a lot more touchdown passes as long as they're thrown as beautifully as that pass was. Right where it had to be by Troy Aikman. Look at the delivery of this football.
Perfect. 10-7. Philly. In Philadelphia, Al Michaels with Frank Ifford, Dan Deerdorf, and Lynn Swan. The Cowboys have just answered after they trailed 10-0 to make it 10-7. And Chris Boniol to kick off in the waning seconds of the opening quarter. Derek Witherspoon from the 7, and the guy who ran back the kickoff for a touchdown at Atlanta last week is taken out of bounds at about the 26 by Brock Marion. But a good matchup in the AFC coming your way on Monday Night Football next week as we make our only visit to Arrowhead Stadium in 1996, and the Chiefs, with a mark of 4-1, try to rebound after yesterday's loss to San Diego against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who've now won 3 straight after their opening day loss to Jacksonville. And then Saturday we have college football as well, but it's the Steelers and the Chiefs from Kansas City next Monday night.
Neil Smith gets to meet Jerome Bettis.
He does, huh? That's right.
Great game. Good setting.
From the 26-yard line. Ricky Waters takes the swing pass and gets shoved out of bounds by George Teague as the quarter expires. End of 1 in Philadelphia. The Eagles 10 and the Cowboys 7. And Monday Night Football returns after this message and a word from our ABC station. Stripes up from Pompano Beach, Florida, providing that shot of Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the second quarter begins. The Eagles up by 3 at their own 33-yard line. Second down, 4. And it's the workhorse, Ricky Waters, who tries to cut it back and can't. Tackled at the 35-yard line, 2 yards shy of the first down. Darren Woodson makes the stop. The Cowboys this season have allowed an average of 238 yards per game, and as you can see in the first quarter alone, the Eagles with 115 total yards.
Well, you can see the Cowboys at least got somewhere respectable with 55 yards. They had 6 after their first 3-and-out drive, and we're looking at a 10-0 deficit.
Third and a long one, and Waters gets 5. So a first down up at the 40-yard line. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Miller Lite, 1996 World Beer Cup American Light Lager gold medal winner. The all-new Ford F-150, strength after strength after strength. And America Online, the future, now available. You've got mail.
Do I? From you? From Uncle Big Al?
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
The Big E.
First down from the 40. It is Rodney Peete having it tipped by Dunn, and then Dunn, does he catch it?
I don't know.
No, he doesn't. One official had to come in. The umpire made the call and said no, it hit the ground.
Well, Dunn was wide open. Once again, Rodney just had too much on it for Dunn to handle.
Well, it was back behind him, too,
Back
Frank.
behind him, and
had to pivot back behind him to try to stab out his right hand for it. This is after the tip when he's going to try to gain control of it before it touches the ground, and I think that's a good call by the official. A lot of ball was on the turf. Yep.
Second down and 10 from the 40-yard line. Here's Ricky Waters slicing his way up to the 45-yard line. It will be third down and 6 with a minute and a half having gone by in the second quarter. The Eagles with a win would stay in a first-place tie with Washington. The Redskins are 4-1, and the Cowboys would drop to 1-4 going into a bye week. Waters last week, big game against Atlanta.
That would not have been a popular pick at the start of the year, would it? That after 5 weeks, the Skins would be 4-1 and the Cowboys could be 1-4.
Right. Philly first and Dallas last. Third and 6 from the 44. Peete gets sacked. Hard charge by Chad Hennings along with Leon Lett as they got a lot of penetration from the middle of the defensive front and forced Philadelphia to punt.
As they have been doing all year, good solid play by the Dallas Cowboys defensively. Again, let's spotlight the big cat Leon Lett. Gets a good outside move on Panos. He's really not a factor in the play. It's Chad Hennings that comes in late to make the tackle, but Leon Lett will have to fight through 2 people every time he makes a move.
Tom Hutton to punt. Kelvin Martin to run it back. And the left footer sends it skyward and angles it, and it's a beautiful punt, and it's fielded at the 6-yard line, so it's a 56-yard punt, and a flag goes down as the run back takes Martin to the 22-yard line. Bob McElwee will make the call here.
Holding number 28 of the receiving team after the ball was kicked. The receivers will keep the ball after the penalty for their foul. First down. Timeout.
That was Darren Woodson called for the penalty. So the Cowboys get really backed up to begin this next drive.
Time to put away the Pro Bowl trophies, the $1 million contracts, and the reputation. You're backed up to your own goal line. Here's where a Pro Bowl offensive line needs to come through.
Dallas starts to drive from the 3, and they'll go to the air on first down, and the line does a great job pass protecting, and the Cowboys get a lot of breathing room as Bjornson, the man who scores the touchdown on the last drive, takes them all the way out to the 26-yard line.
Well, that time the Eagles up there thinking Emmitt Smith as well they should be, and they were in a 3-man zone deep, and Bjornson was wide open. They were looking for Emmitt Smith, and they are well advised to look for Emmitt Smith, that you can't let Bjornson run totally free.
Deion Sanders to this point in time, not a factor at all.
Offense or defense, as Emmitt Smith picks up 2. Of course, when you say that defensively, you are a factor because they're not going your way. But Deion playing both ways this year, and offensively tonight, 10 of 12 plays. Defensively, 24 of 26. He's been out only 4 plays all night.
Well, he's really fallen off. We saw him catch 9 against the Bears. He caught 5 the next week, and that was against the Giants. Then he caught, what, 2 against Indianapolis, rather, and then he caught 1 last week. So people are learning how to handle Deion.
Of course, Deion performing here tonight in the home of what many people feel is the greatest two-way player of all time, Chuck Bednarik, a big Deion fan.
And here is Deion, who escapes a tackle at the 18, cuts it back, and Deion does his thing all the way up to the 38 with a marker down all the way back at the 19-yard line. And it's a personal foul against Dallas.
It might be against Troy Aikman.
Personal foul, clipping, number 8.
Yep.
Offense, half the distance to the goal line, 2nd down.
Boy, it's been a long time since I've seen that, if ever.
Clipping called on the quarterback. It's a good call. There's Aikman coming back on William Fuller, and he does. He rolls into the back of the legs of William Fuller.
You know, he's lucky Fuller didn't get up and sit on him
and go after him, spike him. Now, Troy hits more ground than Fuller, but he does hit enough of Fuller to actually trip him up and knock him down. That's a very alert call by Bob McElwee.
2nd down and 22 from the 14-yard line. And Darrell Johnson is flanked to the right and sent into motion and out into the pattern. And Aikman's going to launch one for Deion, who gets position and makes the catch. He got inside Troy Vincent on a great one-on-one matchup and makes the catch.
Troy had great position on him. And actually, Deion, I don't know what his vertical leap is, but it must be pretty incredible. He went so high to get this football. Troy Vincent, one of the great cover corners there is. To spin around, he's right there. He just couldn't get up there with him.
Well, but he's getting no help to the inside from the safeties at all. The safeties are committed to the run. You're asking almost the impossible of a cornerback to take away all angles of the field against a guy like Deion Sanders.
39-yard reception, his longest of the year, and Emmitt Smith picks up a couple. The Cowboys this year do not have a 40-yard reception or a 20-yard run, which is amazing 4.5 games into the season. And that's one of the few times that they've been able to link up with Deion. In fact, the only time on a bomb.
There's so many stats around this Cowboy team. It's been so strange. Their start this season with all of the injuries that, well, if you were to predict them before the start of the season, no one could have believed it.
But they're in a position right now where they would be really pleased to go into that bye at 2-3.
Herschel Walker in the game, flank left. Deion, after that long run, takes 2 plays in a row off, and they go to Walker. And the versatile one takes it to the 32-yard line, and the Dallas first down on a drive that commenced, you'll recall, back at the 3-yard line. So the Cowboys on the move with 9:15 to go in the half, and the Eagles leading by 3.
Of course, there's a pattern that just has Michael Irvin's name written all over it. Michael, who can report to the Cowboy training facility tomorrow. His suspension over, and that's his pattern, that quick slant to the inside. And, of course, no quarterback in the game delivers the ball more accurately than Troy Aikman.
Sanders back in the game. And they give it to Emmitt Smith, and he takes it inside the 30, picks up 3. James Willis, the middle linebacker, in on the stop. So the Eagles took an early 10-0 lead, but the Cowboys answered. Set up by Herschel Walker's long 49-yard return and the touchdown pass to Bjornson. And now Dallas with 8.5 to go in the half. And Emmitt Smith coming out slowly and getting a breather here as Sherman Williams comes in. Have it 2nd down and 7 at the 29-yard line.
You lose a little power, a little strength, but you gain quickness with Sherman Williams.
Little toss to Sherman to the weak side and a lot of room, and Sherman Williams, Emmett's back up to the 14 and a 1st down behind a Moose Johnston block, and Smith in some pain.
Yeah, Emmitt, I don't know that Emmitt came out just for a blow. You're right, Al. Looks to me like he's uncomfortable. Yeah, it's a long list of things that are wrong. The neck, the ribs, the ankle, the knee. But he did practice all week. This just beautifully blocked, Frank.
And this is what you can do with Sherman Williams. Get him to the outside. He is much quicker than him to the outside, and he has a good cutback ability.
1st down at the 14-yard line. Eagles nearly jump. In fact, they do. Flags go down. And it's Sherman Williams finding space in the middle of the 7-yard line. Tackled by Bobby Taylor.
Looked like Red Hall, number 97, fell across the line.
Picked up about 7, so the question is, do you want it 1st and 5 or 2nd and 2 or 3?
Offside. Defensive nose guard. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
They'll take the 5, and that'll put them at the 9-yard line.
And Dan, you called for a Pro Bowl performance by the offensive line. This drive started at the 4-yard line, and enough adversity in it too. Troy Aikman called on the clip. You got big plays, and they've sustained it.
It's that old saying, you dance with who brung you. Right now, without wide receivers of note, you have to fall back on short, accurate passes by the quarterback. But really, you have a dominating group up front. At least they have been in the past. They're trying to do it again.
1st and 5 after the penalty. Sherman Williams runs right into Bobby Taylor. Tackled at the 6-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and a long 2.
Well, I'll tell you, it is really tough to run outside against an 8-man front, and that's what Philadelphia presented then.
And don't you love cornerbacks, Frank, that are 6'3", 216 pounds like Taylor?
And will hit you.
This is a cornerback making a tackle like this, folks, not a linebacker. Look at this stick by Bobby Taylor. That's an outstanding tackle by a corner.
Emmitt Smith is back in the game. 2nd and 2. Smith out of the eye. Emmitt Smith, touchdown, and Dallas takes the lead.
Fortune and Nate Newton, the left side.
An awesome drive by the Dallas Cowboys that started back at their 4-yard line. And what's that, number 99 or so for Emmitt? He's chasing 100, isn't he? Touchdown.
Officially a 96-yard drive and 99 rushing touchdowns for Emmitt Smith, who is 11 shy of the NFL record held by Walter Payton.
And only in his 7th year. Good block by Moose Johnston out there.
A really good block by you. You could almost name names going down the line. Armstrong had a good block. Allen came around the corner with another good one.
So the Cowboys down 10-0, and a lot of people thinking RIP. And the next thing you know, with 6:32 to go in the half, it is Dallas 14, Philadelphia 10.
Well, the guy on the left there weighs 320 pounds. How much do you think the guy on the right weighs?
One leg about 320.
Well, if Hellestray wouldn't have walked into our picture, we'd have a better idea here.
What is Nate, about 360?
Big Nate's probably 360. There's Larry Allen. Mark Tuanay still banging away after 14 years.
And they were right up front on a 96-yard drive as Derek Witherspoon fields the kick inside the 5-yard line and brings it back out to the 34, where Kavika Pittman, their top draft choice, makes the stop. 6:20 to go in the half. Dallas leading by 4. Lineup for college football this Saturday, and the big game is in the Big Ten, where 4th-ranked Penn State takes on 3rd-ranked Ohio State. Nebraska against Kansas State, Cal USC. Virginia, Georgia Tech, all regional action. Check your local listings this Saturday, 3:30 Eastern. Here are the Eagles now from the 32-yard line, and it is Irving Fryer, and he runs up the back of Hervin McCormick. So McCormick, not even looking at the play, gets turned around, and it's a loss for the Eagles. Trickery and deceit will get you nowhere.
Irving Fryer's been in this league for a long time and has made a lot of spectacular plays, and this is not one of them. What in God's name is he doing? He just, it's like he doesn't see Hervin. Well,
I wonder what McCormick thought.
All I know is
he didn't even know he was there.
NFL film, Steve Sable, get ready. You'll have fun with that one.
Second down and 14 as Rodney Peete has it batted in the air, and then it's caught by an Eagle lineman who somehow comes up with a football after it gets batted at the 32-yard line. And Bob McElwee will call for time.
They're trying to talk about sorting something out.
Was it caught? Yes, it was.
Well, Rodney Peete is a guy who we thought a couple of years ago would be forever destined to be a backup quarterback. Gents, he's taken over this team. He's 12-4 in his last 16 starts.
That's the best record of any quarterback in what, the National Football League?
Over that period of time as a starter.
16 games.
Third down and 10 from the 32-yard line as Peete throws a wobbler, and it's picked off by Deion Sanders, and then he shovels the ball off to George Teague, and the Cowboys are back in business at the 34-yard line.
Well,
and Rodney Peete goes down.
Well, that's a pattern you wouldn't expect Rodney Peete, who's not really a strong-armed quarterback, to challenge Deion Sanders. Is that turn into the sideline? That you're talking about the cornerback with the greatest burst to the football in the National Football League. And guys like John Elway and Dan Marino aren't interested in challenging him on that pattern.
Rodney should have read that right away.
Yeah.
He had all kinds of blue jerseys over there. And Deion was in perfect position. He had help deep. He was going to play that tight. Rodney should have read that better.
Sanders' first interception of the season, so Deion, the recipient of a 39-yard pass, and then an interception on the next series. And it's Emmitt Smith on first down, taking it to the 30. As we take another look at the Rodney Peete interception by Sanders.
Look at Sanders' perfect position. He's reading the receiver. Now he looks back into the quarterback. He had Brock Marion underneath that, but it was a bad read by, no question, by Rodney Peete.
The Cowboys got in trouble last week against Buffalo when Woodson tried to lateral, and they ended up losing the ball. Right there is the hit by, well, guess who? Leon Lett all over Rodney Peete.
Second down and 6 from the 30-yard line. With Johnson in motion. And Aikman looking one way, then the other. Emmett juggles, can't hold on. Incomplete. So it'll be third down at the 30-yard line.
And once again now it's up to the Philadelphia defense to come up big, because right now we're looking at a 14-10 ball game, and they can't afford to fall behind Dallas, because it just this is a Cowboy team that's lacking confidence, and they're picking it up in a hurry. This would be a big play for the Eagles defensively here if they could force the Cowboys into either a long field goal or a punt.
It'll be the Eagles lacking confidence if Dallas goes in for a touchdown, because they've already blown a 10-0 lead. And on 3rd and 6, it's Emmitt Smith, and the Eagle defense rises up to stop him at the 29 and set up about a 47-yard field goal attempt for Boniol.
Well, that would not be a call you would even consider for Michael Irvin here, or for that matter, Jay Novacek here. And this is what the Cowboys offense has got to do because they're not out there. And that's not a wasted play, but certainly one you wouldn't call if you had the receivers that you should have on the field.
A pretty routine dive off the left side by Emmitt Smith. You're right, Frank. I think you're 100% correct.
47-yard attempt for Boniol as Jet puts it down, and the kick is long enough and good. Chris Boniol boots it through, and the lead is extended thanks to a Deion interception. Boniol adds 3 to make it Dallas 17 Philadelphia 10. And a look at Bill Bates, who has been around forever on the Cowboys special teams. Running down the field is Bonio's kick. Comes into the arms of Derek Witherspoon at the 3-yard line. And he runs into Darren Woodson and fields it up at the 24-yard line. Thursday night right here on ABC. Take a peek. An all-new episode of High Incident coming your way, and then Steven Seagal in Under Siege. That's Thursday night in prime time right here on ABC.
Well, as it was important for the Cowboys when they were backed up to their own goal line to get something happening, a drive, and they did. I think this is a very important drive for the Philadelphia Eagles. They've had this game kind of taken away from them here in the second quarter. They had control of it in the first quarter. They would like to get it back.
With Dallas up by 7, Turner makes the catch over the middle up to the 30-yard line.
I think an Eagle drive here can be measured in terms of things other than points. At the very least, they need to keep this ball long enough and move it far enough to not give Dallas another scoring opportunity before the end of the first half. Even if they go into the locker room down 17-10, I still think they will have accomplished something offensively. 3 and out, giving it back to Dallas could be disastrous for Philadelphia.
2:44 left in the half. 17-10 Dallas. Pete on second down and 4, throws underneath. Waters makes the catch. Nice move, and that nets him a first down, breaking a George Teague tackle.
Great move by Waters. Excuse me, Al. He knew exactly where that first down mark was. Planted the foot, dove the distance for the first down. He's having an extraordinary year. He credits it really to a new lifestyle. He's become a very spiritual young man. He's changed his whole life around, put on a lot of weight, and he's having a fantastic year.
Coming up to the 2-minute warning. First down from the 36-yard line, and Ricky Waters sliding, looking, turns it back. Minimal gain. And a 2-minute warning comes with exactly 1:57 on the clock. That much time left in the half at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Cowboys are up by a touchdown. With 1 minute and 57 seconds remaining in the first half, the Philadelphia Eagles have the ball at their own 38-yard line. Aikman has guided his team to 17 unanswered points. Dallas up 17-10. Second down and 8 from the 38. Rodney Peete under pressure, and Tolbert is able to break through and sack him, and it's a lost football, and Dallas has it. Broderick Thomas comes up with it.
Oh, and Rodney Peete is grabbing his knee. Rodney Peete is hurt.
And he opened the season with an injured knee, and he's grabbing that right knee right now. Oh boy, Tony Tolbert just wiped out Richard Cooper over the right side of the Eagles line, and Peete had no shot at all.
Ooh. Oh, and
Rodney just collapsed right there.
When Rodney went down in such pain, actually put the ball down on the turf himself and left it there as he clutched his knee.
He was just trying to take a step forward, and the knee just collapsed. He mentioned they were not sure he was going to be able to open the season. He injured his knee in preseason.
In fact, he missed the last preseason game. He injured his knee in New England. There's some question whether he'd start against Washington, but he did.
He just planted his right knee, and it just gave way on him.
And when you look at the Eagle bench, next up is Ty Detmer with almost no experience. And their third quarterback is Bobby Hoying, a rookie.
He was 4 years with the Green Bay Packers, which means he's familiar with this offense, Ty Detmer, but he only was 6 for 11 behind a very durable Brett Favre. Former Heisman Trophy winner.
So Detmer loosens up. The crowd is stilled with 1:50 to go in the half.
Rodney has had knee troubles on and off throughout his entire career, and in preseason he had hurt his left knee. This appears to be his right knee. That's the one that they were attending to.
Well,
owner Jeffrey Lurie looking on.
A double dose of disaster for the Eagles. Not only is their starting quarterback carted off the field, but a turnover at the same time. Again, watch him right here as he plants his right leg. and something just buckles, gives way. Rodney goes down, but that is still a live football, and he just dishes it out right in front of him and instinctively grabs for that knee. And the double whammy, the loss of their quarterback, and now with 1 minute and 50 seconds left, Dallas gets outstanding field position deep in Philadelphia territory. And again, we talked earlier, Al brought it up, 12-4 as a starting quarterback since October 1 of last year. Only Steve Bono has done better.
And so a half hour ago, or maybe 45 minutes ago, here in Philadelphia, the Eagles were up 10-0. They had just consummated a long drive. Things were going swimmingly. The Cowboys could do nothing right. The Eagles appeared to be unstoppable in quest of the 4th win in 5 games, and now they're down by 7. They've lost their quarterback, and they've lost the football near the end of the first half.
And now Ray Rhodes and Emmett Thomas ask an awful lot of their defensive unit.
From the 31-yard line, Aikman, and that's caught by Dion, who's out of bounds near the first down marker, and it appears they will give it to him as they spot the ball inside that marker at the 20-yard line.
Oh, and Troy Aikman was given all the time he could have ever wanted. He looked right, he went back to the left side, he looked up the middle, and finally we had enough time to go all the way back to the right side and hitting Dion. Dion working over there against Troy Vincent. Dion breaking back. Meanwhile, Troy having all the time in the world to get it to him.
Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator, Joe Brodsky, the running backs coach, from the 20-yard line. Emmett Smith takes the toss, and Emmett Smith to the 11-yard line, and now it's the Cowboys who look unstoppable. They look like the old Cowboys. Darryl Johnston with a block.
Well, the offensive line has come under a lot of criticism for being old, for being overweight, and who knows how they'll play for the rest of the season. But to this point in time, this is certainly the best performance by the Cowboys offensive line here in this 96 season. They are beginning to look like last year's group.
2nd down and 2 from the 12-yard line, and it's Smith. Nowhere to go. Knocked down at the 13 by Michael Jordan.
Well, Red Hall that time beat Nate Newton. That's why that's a dead play. Hall gets upfield, he whips Newton, and that makes it dead.
Dallas takes a timeout with 59 ticks left, and let's get an update from New York and Chris Berman. Chris?
All right, Al, thank you. Well, coming up on our Toyota halftime report, you'll be visiting with Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, smiling a little more now, and a whip-around week number 5, and that includes the 49ers, who sputtered last week, but against the Falcons, they were back in business. Elvis was in the building, but in the 2nd quarter, how about Terry Kirby throwing a touchdown pass? And if you can throw one, why not look for Jerry Rice? 39-17 San Francisco, only the 2nd non-quarterback to throw a TD to Jerry Rice. I know, Al, you knew the other one. That was Harry Sidney.
All right, Chris, and back in Philadelphia, the Dallas Cowboys just taking that timeout, 3rd down and 2 at the 12-yard line with 59 seconds remaining. Barry Switzer watching his team erase a 10-0 deficit, now leading 17-10 and looking for more. Herschel Walker split left. Sanders in motion. 3rd and 2. The fake to Dion on the end around, and Moose Johnston gets taken down. A big defensive play by James Willis and the rookie Brian Dawkins. And Dallas will settle for a 3-point attempt.
Again, the Philadelphia defense has risen to the occasion into forcing the Cowboys to kick the field goal. Beautifully, defense stayed home. Willis stayed home on the backside. Fuller with the pressure. And they never allowed Johnston to get turned upfield. Darryl, who's very good running after the catch, was never able to get his shoulder pads turned up the field.
31-yard attempt. Jet puts it down. Bonio bangs it through. So the Pete fumble and the recovery, and Emmett Smith and the Cowboys have reeled off 20 unanswered points. And now lead it by a score of 20-10. And guys, it's very early in all of that, but if the Dallas Cowboys somehow get it righted, win the game, get Irvin back, and become the old Cowboys, you'll look back, I think, to Herschel Walker's run back tonight. Down 10-0. There are plays that make huge differences, and he jump-started them with that run back.
I'll take that 96-yard drive, too, Al. I think they'll look back. If all those things that you mentioned happen, they can look back towards the end of the year and say that was a very defining moment for our football team. That 96-yard drive was extraordinary.
Well, 10 points is still 10 points, and we have seen the Cowboys here in 1996 surrender leads of greater than that. Weren't they up 17 to Indianapolis? 18? And away that went. But again, Al, I think, hit a home run with this one. You're right. It's Herschel Walker that got this thing lit up and maybe gave this team some hope that we can get something done.
The crowd was roaring at that point, and Herschel on that run back was able to momentarily take the crowd out of the game, and now they've really taken the crowd out of the game.
And now we're in the second half. We're going to see what effect Ty Detmer can have in moving the Philadelphia offense.
Ground ball kickoff, one of the few things the Cowboys have not done well over the last 45 minutes or so. And now Detmer, a Heisman Trophy winner, but like so many Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks, a fizzling career in the NFL.
Well, he's familiar with the offense. He was with offensive coordinator John Gruden up in Green Bay, where, again, he sat on the bench most of the time because Brett Favre is a very durable quarterback, and John Gruden and Ty Detmer looked like choir boys.
And the other quarterback on the Eagles roster, who listed as their third quarterback, Bobby Hoying, the rookie from Ohio State, who hasn't seen any action in the NFL.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. Detmer throws a little behind Irving Fryer, but he's able to reach back and make the catch, and there is Hoying.
It's not a bad call, just to kind of get his feet wet. He doesn't have to worry about it sitting in at halftime. Hey, I can complete this ball out there. That's a good call.
About 8 seconds left in one play, and Jerry Jones will be along at the half, feeling a lot better than he did at the end of the quarter. We'll talk to Jerry, obviously, about Michael Irvin. Michael able to come back. He can start practicing, I guess, theoretically at midnight. His suspension ends after this game. And meanwhile, the right knee problem, Rodney Peete, obviously a problem, and they're saying that he is gone for the night.
That word coming up from our producer, Kenny Wolf, down in the truck, along with Craig Janoff, have been manning the helm here for a decade now. Long time, guys.
Detmer throws and finds Dunn, the rookie tight end. He's going to try to do it on his own, but time has run out.
Oh, what a shame for Philadelphia. But, again, Frank, you touched on it. Ty Detmer, I think, goes into this locker room thinking he can move this team.
And Barry says, that's all, folks. Let's go. His team scores 20 unanswered points and leads at the half by a score of 20-10. And back we come after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC stations. And as we start the second half at Veterans Stadium, the Cowboys to receive, and Herschel Walker with the big run back to get Dallas restarted in the first quarter. Brings it back out to the 32-yard line, and Brian Dawkins makes the tackle. And now the Cowboys with Troy Aikman coming out to the 32 as you look down at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where last year this was the scene of the infamous for Dallas 4th and 1, or as Barry Switzer likes to put it, 4th and a foot.
Yeah, don't say 4th and 1 in front of Barry.
4th and a foot, he reminds you.
Said if it was 4th and 1, I wouldn't have gone for it.
Aikman from the 32 dumps it over the middle to Emmitt Smith. A lot of room and a first down on the 12-yard pickup. And let's get an update from the field and Lynn Swan. Lynn?
Thank you, Al. I talked to Ray Rhodes as he came out of the locker room, and he talked to Rodney Peete and the trainer. He said Rodney is in a great deal of pain. He didn't get all the details from the trainer, but said not only will he not be back in the ball game, but it could be a season-ending injury for Rodney Peete. He also said that Ty Detmer is his man. He's got some talent. He's got to give it up this night and played well for the Eagles. Al?
Well, a drastic change in what's taken place from midway through the first quarter to right now as Emmitt Smith goes nowhere on first down. Greg Jefferson, backup defensive end, makes the stop.
And for Dallas, a chance to answer a lot of questions about the conditioning of this football team. They had a lot of injuries during training camp. Remember, we were down in Monterrey, Mexico, and they had the dream team, as they called it, that was back at the training camp because all of them were so nicked up, and consequently they didn't get a chance to work much during training camp, and they were not in very good condition when they opened against Chicago. But they've had an opportunity, I think, to play themselves back into shape, and now they have an opportunity to show that. And 3 of those guys are on that offensive line.
2nd and 11. Look out! Aikman gets sacked, and it's Red Hall who picks up the ball after Brian Dawkins creates the play, and the Eagles get right back in the game.
No flags. You notice that on the play before, James Willis came on a blitz up the middle. That time Emmett Thomas comes on a blitz from the outside with his rookie Dawkins and gets the big play. Down by 10, the Eagles have gambled defensively, and boy, has it paid off. Man, you said something earlier. This was a piece of cake for other Cowboy teams for the last couple of years. You blitz them and you were in trouble. They'd release it so quickly. They didn't slow the blitz down, and there's no one to throw the football to.
And the Eagles are unsettled in terms of setting up for the extra point. Now they get the proper number of people on the field. Gary Anderson for the extra point, and that's good. 32 yards on the interception that was created by the Dawkins hit. Paul takes it in, and Dawkins, the rookie, supplanting the veteran Eric Zomold, who got waived. And it's Dawkins doing the waving right now as he puts the Eagles right back in the game. Well, the crowd back in it, the Eagles back in it, and the kickoff sends Herschel Walker 5 yards into the end zone for the kneel down.
As we were talking to Ray Rhodes last night about Brian Dawkins, he said he gives me the best range, the best cover, but more importantly, he's the best playmaker that I have at safety. And no bigger play will Mr. Dawkins make in the near future than that one against Troy Aikman. Red Hall dances into the end zone, and you would struggle to find a football team after losing their starting quarterback that needed that more than the Eagles.
First down at the 20-yard line. And Emmitt Smith picks up 4. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by the new Dodge. It's about change. Circuit City, the choice for price, selection, and service. And Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. Well, the Eagles back in it, the crowd back in it. Emmitt Thomas and John Gruden looking on, but the news on Rodney Peete is not good at all. Torn patellar tendon in the knee, surgery tomorrow, most likely. 2nd down and 6 as Emmitt Smith takes it up to the 27-yard line, tackled by Zordich. And now the Eagles have to think about a season with Detmer and Hoying, or do you go into the market? And there's one guy available in that market right now before the trade deadline.
Would his number be 12?
It might be, but his number might be number 1 as Larry Allen comes up a little gimpy.
Would you dial an Atlanta or a Las Vegas area code to find this guy?
Well, you have. I'm thinking of the other guy. I'm thinking Jeff George. You're thinking Randall Cunningham.
I'm thinking Randall Cunningham.
Yeah.
I can see him warming up.
Yeah, that's funny. Here, I think you're thinking of Randall.
Right. That's
you're
why
right.
I'm thinking 1. You're thinking 12. Larry Allen going off. We'll get word in a moment as George Hegeman takes his spot. And it's 3rd down and 3 for the Cowboys at the 27-yard line.
Look out. There's Mamula.
Mike Mamula knocks Aikman down. Incomplete pass, 4th down.
Well, this is the man they wanted to step up defensively. He's been struggling over the past few weeks. And he makes a key hit, forcing Troy to get rid of that ball long before he wanted to.
Frank, as you well know, if you're going to play defensive end in this league at 250 pounds, you better be fast. And Mark Tuanay gets distracted back to the inside and really makes a very poor attempt at trying to put anything of substance on Mamula.
Eagles should get this ball back in pretty good field position.
John Jett to punt it. And he gets that one up into the jet stream. Good kick. 48 yards, fielded by Mark Shea, who returns it to the 32-yard line. Mike Mamula saying we're back in it, and he ain't lying. 3 minutes into the third quarter, it's Dallas by 3.
When you say you're going to watch a little TV, do you mean a little TV?
We're back in Philadelphia where the Eagles are down by 3, and they have a 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Aikman looking on as Ty Detmer, the one-time Heisman Trophy winner.
That was botched up from the very beginning. Detmer's trying to set his back.
Start prior to the snap, number 72, offense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Dallas is not a big blitzing team, and they haven't been, but if one of the things you would expect them to do to somebody like Ty Detmer, who has not played that much over the 4 years he was with Green Bay, little experience whatsoever, comes into a tough situation like that, you would expect them to bring a lot of people. Safety blitz, corner blitz. They'd get in his face.
Now the burden falls on everyone else in the Eagles huddle to pick up some of the slack and help him out.
1st and 15, and Ricky Waters gets knocked down in the backfield as Broderick Thomas, a guy who's been around with Detroit and Tampa Bay and Minnesota and then gets picked up here, makes the stop. Broderick Thomas, remember the Cowboys losing Dixon Edwards and Robert Jones, so they had to go out and get an outside backer and a middle backer, and they picked up Thomas and Fred Strickland, 2 pretty good ones.
They're especially happy with Fred Strickland in the middle. They lose some range and some playmaking ability with Thomas, but Strickland, they feel that was an upgrade.
2nd and 17. Now Detmer throws. It's caught at the 33 by Ed West, longtime Green Bay tight end who played there with Detmer. He takes it out to the 35-yard line.
Larry Allen on the bench. Doesn't seem to have any of the medical staff around him, so we'll probably see him come back into the lineup. Think about Detmer. He, having worked at Green Bay for 4 years and with John Gruden up there, and also Ray Rhodes was there when they drafted him in the 9th round, so he must have saw something he liked, but he most certainly knows the offense. And even though he doesn't get all the work that Rodney would get during the course of a regular week, he obviously has had a lot of experience with this offense, even though not in combat.
3rd down and 7. Detmer, a perfect 3 of 3 for 55 yards so far. And he loses the football, coughs it up, and there is the big cat, Leon Lett, with the recovery. Tony Tolbert forced it.
And that's Detmer's fault. He has to take care of the football better than that. He's got to put it away. He sensed the pressure. He stepped up, and he held that football out in front of him like that. That, as a quarterback, right here, when you see it coming, you got to do a better job of putting the football away.
Now, this, of course, is what he has not experienced in the years in the league. He talked about how little he has been in the heat of battle. You learn those things when you're out there.
Again, the Eagles defensively put in an awkward spot.
But 8 guys up front, and Emmitt Smith goes next to nowhere, stopped at the 33-yard line. Larry Allen back in the game. Next week, we go to Arrowhead Stadium, always a great stop on the Monday night tour. Arrowhead Stadium, home of the Chiefs, who are 4-1 against the 3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers. Great matchup next Monday night.
One of the great smelling parking lots in all of sports. They know how to tailgate at Arrowhead, and they get there early.
They do it in such an elegant way.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Mucho garlic. I love it. 2nd down and 8 from the 33. Fake to Smith. Pass to Moose Johnston, and he gets taken down. Nice tackle at the 30 by Mark Woodard. Minimal gain.
Eagles coming again with the blitz. This time the Cowboys able to pick it up. Aikman was able to read it and at least avoid the sack.
Barry Switzer, mentioned at the top, if you joined us late, the man has coached 231 games at the University of Oklahoma and with the Dallas Cowboys, and has never lost 3 games in a row, which is astonishing.
His record is astonishing.
3rd and 5. And it's caught by Dion over the middle, picks up the first down with extra effort, breaking a couple of tackles, and picks up a first down inside the 25.
Nifty running by Dion after he caught the football, hurdling one tackler and focusing on the first down. Had his eye on the sticks, and he got there.
Boy, he was awfully close to giving it back, though, wasn't he? He gave up some yardage in an attempt to get to that first down marker. Right here, it takes a pretty extraordinary athlete to be able to do something like that.
He jumped right over Zordich. Sure did.
From the 23-yard line on first down. Smith to the short side of the field. And Emmett has a first down. Takes it to the 12-yard line. Ryan Dawkins makes the tackle. And once again, it's a Darrell Johnston block. Well, here's our prudential fact tonight. As you look at Deion Sanders all over the joint on both sides of the ball. And a man who has scored touchdowns in 5 different ways. Interceptions, receptions, kickoff returns, punt returns, and a fumble return. Bill Dudley, back in the 40s and early 50s, scored 6 different ways. And Deion could tie him when and if he scores a rushing touchdown.
You notice that Larry Allen's back in the ball game. He had the big block on that last run by Smith.
Here is Smith to the 10-yard line. If you're thinking that you have seen Deion score a rushing touchdown, you are right, but it was in postseason last year.
Oh, boy, are we on top of it? Oh.
Yeah.
You know, I facetiously mentioned in the first half about Chuck Bednarik being a big fan of Deion.
Yeah.
He's, I think, as most people are aware, has been highly critical of Deion Sanders and doesn't think that he deserves to be credited with being a two-way player, not at least the way they used to do it.
Chuck can be an angry guy. 2nd and 8. And Troy Aikman steps out of bounds. I saw Bednarik on a local interview tonight actually say if he had a chance to tackle Deion Sanders, he'd put him to sleep for 48 hours. Come on, Chuck, lighten up.
Chuck, he's never been the master of the understatement.
Chuck getting a little hostile. Here's 350 pounds out in front of your quarterback, and he just gives Woodard a shove with his left arm, and down he goes, and Nate's still moving out in front of him. Pretty good hustle by the big guy.
What do you mean I'm not in shape? That's
3rd and 5 at the 7-yard line. And they flank Moose Johnston to the right, and Troy doesn't like the look of the defense, so he takes a timeout. Timeout Dallas, 6:47 to go in the 3rd. And Switzer's club leading Roses by 3. Back in Philadelphia, a key play coming up now for Dallas. 3rd down and 5 at the 7-yard line. Cowboys up 20-17, 6:47 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Boy, this was Novacek country before he went down with the injury.
Got Johnston split out. Now he comes back.
Crowd making it difficult.
They're going to have to take another timeout.
That's a crowd-induced timeout.
Well, that's a confusion-induced timeout. Darrell Johnston was not where Aikman thought he was supposed to be.
Back-to-back timeouts.
5-yard penalty for the 2 consecutive timeouts.
Well,
we don't see that very often.
No, Bob McElwee, if you call back-to-back timeouts, it's a double whammy. You cost yourself 2 of your 3.
I've never seen it.
That's 5 yards.
I've never seen it called.
So now it is 3rd down and 10 at the 12-yard line. And a little dump off over the middle to Emmitt Smith on a middle screen. He can only get to the 4. It'll be 4th down and 2. Zordich makes the tackle. And over on the Cowboy bench.
No,
starts to tentatively move out, and now they move out more than tentatively.
Well, again, you have to give a great deal of credit to the Philadelphia defensive team. Again, a turnover gives Dallas the ball in their territory, and again, they force the Cowboys into a field goal situation. They have been called upon, Emmett Thomas's group, over and over again, and again, they held.
Boniol, a 22-yarder, and that's good. So he's made them from 46-30, and now from 22. 3 for Crestonite with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Cowboy lead is now 23-17. Looking at Veterans Stadium from the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, and is that the real deal or is that the replica here? That's the real deal. Okay. There's a replica in the stadium here. That is the real Liberty Bell, Independence Hall. As the kickoff comes down into the arms of Derek Witherspoon at the 7-yard line. And he brings it back out to the 29.
There's the
that is not the real deal.
Yes, it's amazing you could confuse the two, Al. They do look so much alike.
You know, we zoomed in so tight, so close.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, how could you confuse it? They're identical.
Absolutely. That's right there.
Yes, I think there's some bats in your belfry.
Yes, there are. And there have been for many years. Oh, don't say bats. I'm having withdrawal here. First down at the 30-yard line. Ty Detmer. Play fake, and then hits Irving wide. Deion Sanders runs him out.
And you know, Irving might have hit Deion in the face. He gave Sanders a stiff arm, and it might have gone to the face. That would really damage the Eagles. They'd be back into a 1st and 20. That's what they're going to call. Watch Irving here. I think he takes his... Is it his right? Yeah, there it is, right to the face mask. That is blatant, and that is
use of the hands.
a no-no.
Hands to the face. Number 80, offense. 10 yards, first down.
A good explanation by our referee, Bob McElwee. And Irving could have lowered the shoulder and I think accomplished the same thing against Deion.
And from the spot of the foul, so
it's back to 1st and 10 again. So it wasn't as that's one of those marked from the spot. So rather than the line of scrimmage,
it's kind of like nothing happened.
Yep, just right back. Talk about a do-over.
How do they get first down?
I think they're going to discuss this. There we go.
Penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Illegal hands to the face, 10 yards, first down.
1st and 20. We got it now?
No, from the spot of the foul.
Well, let's see. So it's to the 24-yard line.
Yes, because
so 1st and 16.
he put the hands to the face about 4 yards,
about
5 yards from the
yard line.
Right.
1st and 16 now for Philadelphia at the 24-yard line. 5.5 minutes left in the third quarter. And back to the ground game, and Waters up to the 30-yard line. I tell you, Ray Rhodes gets as much out of a team as anybody. As Roderick Thomas is a little slow in getting up. He's tough. I mean, he looks tough. He is tough. He talks tough. He appeals to the player's manhood. I mean, this guy can take testosterone levels to brand new heights in pregame talks.
But yet there's a great deal of compassion there, and these Eagle players would run through a wall for Ray Rhodes.
There's a very colorful adjective to go with it. Let's see.
A very likable man.
2nd down and 10, unless he gets mad again. It's 3rd and 10, kept by Tony Tolbert. But he may have done more with less last year, and it was reflected in the fact that he won several Coach of the Year awards.
Well, how does Ray Rhodes take defeat? Every week we sit down and talk to head coaches around the league in preparation for our game. Before we could ask Ray a question last night, he sits down and basically apologizes to us for the way they played in Green Bay. And that's a first, a completely unnecessary, but that is the way this man thinks about the game.
Woodson sacks Detmer. The ball is loose at the 20-yard line, and Philadelphia comes up with it. So that's the good news. The bad news is they're forced to punt on 4th and long.
And we talked earlier about what you do when you get a young green quarterback. This is what you do. You come from all sides of the field. You bring the cornerback. You bring somebody like a Darren Woodson, who nobody even came close to picking up.
Well, you go into a 4-receiver set, Frank, and there's no one in the backfield to block. Detmer is all alone back there.
Tommy Hutton to punt. Kelvin Martin back to receive it. .47-yard boot. And a 9-yard return up to the 41-yard line with 3 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Until they expose Detmer like that many more times, and they're going to need another quarterback.
We talked about Heisman Trophy winners. Take a look at the last 4. Andre Ware had an undistinguished NFL career and is not in professional football at the moment. Then there's Detmer. Gino Torretta has had a completely undistinguished professional career, and he's out of football. And Charlie Ward's playing basketball for the Knicks. And there are your last 4 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks.
You've been asking a lot of the Eagles defense. This is where over the years we've seen the Cowboys assert themselves with that 320-pound plus offensive line. The Eagles defensively have been playing a long time, and they're undersized, and this is where the Cowboys have started to really flex their muscles and dominate.
Well, they give away so much in weight at the line of scrimmage. They have to do it with quickness and with toughness, because they are giving away 20, 30, 40 pounds to a man up there.
And Sherman Williams is in spelling Emmett Smith. He carries for 4 right there. There is Emmett getting a breather.
Yeah, the average differential up and down the line is in excess of 40 pounds.
Blitz, flag, Sherman Williams. Run out at the 48-yard line. Larry Allen and Kevin Johnson were moving. And it's against the Eagles.
Offside, number 94, defense.
There's a
5 yards, second down.
And again, I think the key here where it says listed the program weights. Newton is not 320.
Right.
Allen is not 326. I think both of those. Allen's probably 10 to 15 heavier than that. Nate might be 30 pounds heavier than that.
Maybe those are kilos.
And the fullback, Daryl Johnston, who usually winds up blocking a linebacker, he's bigger than all 3 of the Eagles' starting linebackers. So it begins to tell about this point of the game.
Second and a yard from the 49-yard line, and Johnston runs right into Greg Jefferson, second-year guy out of Central Florida, in on the tackle. And he appears to be a little short of the first.
Boy, nice play. Just an excellent play by Jefferson.
Jefferson, he puts a little bulk in there. He goes over 300 pounds. Third-round pick from a year ago, and he puts a real hammer on.
Greg Jefferson rotating in along the defensive front tonight. Third down and a yard at the 49. 2:15 to go in the third, and Aikman on a sneak picks up 2 to the 49, and they'll move the chains.
Got over Ray Donaldson, who's been doing this for 17 years.
He's been doing it so long, Frank. Not only did Ray Donaldson play with the Baltimore Colts, he played 4 years with the Baltimore Colts.
Then he went on out to Seattle for a while, and
now next
year out there for a while.
Next year, you're going to tell me he used to snap to Johnny Unitas.
Right. He may have.
In case Mrs. Jefferson, the defensive tackle, is looking in for the Philadelphia Eagles. I put about 40 pounds on him.
From the 48-yard line, Aikman gets a block, and then Vincent finally knocks him down after a gain of 5.
Oh, Moose Johnson put a key block on there right at the line of scrimmage that springs Aikman to the outside.
Aikman is just a rock. I mean, in a year when the Cowboys have had about as many things go wrong as they possibly could from day one. I mean, this guy is just, he is as solid as they come.
And just a grim determination in the way that Troy Aikman approaches it. There's Andy Harmon. He had arthroscopic knee surgery. They're hoping to have him back after the bye. One of the great pass rushing defensive tackles in the game.
2nd and 4. Sherman Williams gets it to the 41-yard line.
Andy had, I think, 11 sacks last year. That's tremendous production from a defensive tackle. You don't get any free runs to the quarterback from at the tackle spot. You know, a lot of sacks off the corner. They come like Woodson's, where he's unblocked. If you're a defensive tackle and you get 11 sacks, you fought through an awful lot of double teams to get in there.
And he gives him a little size there too, Dan. He goes about 280. It's so quick.
Those are blue collar sacks inside.
3rd down and 3 in the waning seconds of the period. And Aikman throws and converts again. Another big conversion. It's Bjornson, the tight end, who earlier scored a touchdown. And that takes him to the 35-yard line on what will be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
Oh, and a deal at the line of scrimmage by the Eagles. They're quick, and so they do a lot of dealing at the line of scrimmage, and that time Dallas really picked it up well.
And they came with the blitz, and it's picked up by the running back.
And that is the end of the 3rd quarter in Philadelphia, where the Cowboys lead the Eagles 23-17. And Monday Night Football returns after this from our ABC stations. Emmitt Smith tonight with 18 carries for 69 yards. Having a big enough night that the Cowboys are on top, and we mentioned at the outset with the paucity of receivers at Aikman's disposal.
Last year,
he incumbent on Emmitt to have a big night.
Last year, after the 4th game, Emmitt Smith had over 540 yards, and he has really struggled thus far. He's had the knee, he's had the neck, he's had the ankle.
And he and Joe Brodsky, running backs coach, have gone back and forth about Emmitt actually sitting down in situations like this. Joe really wants him to pace himself. That Herschel Walker up there up top.
It is flank to the left. All kinds of wild and wacky formations, of course, in the absence of Irvin and Novacek. And going deep for Walker, and it's batted away by Dawkins at the very last second. He got a hand in there and just did flick it.
Well, Ray Rhodes said Dawkins is a great cover safety, has the potential to become a great cover safety. And we've already seen him coming up and stopping the run. We've seen him put on quite a performance tonight. Here they match him up against Herschel Walker, a world-class sprinter at one time, and while he was at Georgia, got a hand on the ball, knocked it away.
Did he really, or did this hit Herschel? I think it hits Herschel in the hand.
Maybe he didn't get it.
No, he didn't either, but he was there.
Flag is down on the next play as Sherman Williams takes it to the 19-yard line, but a marker down, and we'll get the call from McElwee.
That was one Herschel should have had.
I think let's put it this way. I think it's a throw that Troy was pretty happy with.
He put it right there. It had the look of a ball that was tipped, but on the slow-mo replay, it was right there.
The wide man was never set. The club was never set. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That ball was thrown in there just about as perfectly as you could. I thought
looks like he just
did get a hand in there, but he didn't.
Looks like Herschel just misjudged it a little bit. Ended up being a little more over his shoulder than he originally thought.
How about perfect?
I'd say that. I don't think Troy is displeased with that throw at all.
It'll be 2nd down and 15 now at the 40. 14:44 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Well, these are the penalties that have been so unsettling for Dallas. We've had so many of them.
Cowboys up by 6. Comes forward. Under pressure, loses the football. And Philly has it.
William Fuller. That's what you expect from a Pro Bowl player.
He created it, and Rhett Hall, who had the interception for the touchdown, recovers it.
anchor on this Philadelphia defense for years, and again, Pro Bowl player against Pro Bowl player. Fuller going against Eric Williams. Time Williams beats him around the corner, sacks Aikman, the ball is loose, and Red Hall for the second time tonight at a very opportune place.
Ty Detmer and the Eagles start from the 45-yard line. Ricky Waters gain the 4 to the 49-yard line. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Brewery Fresh Bud.
Philadelphia could really use a sustained drive. Take the pressure off their young quarterback.
2nd and 6. Flip to Turner, the fullback. And bangs ahead for a first down inside the 45. Tackled by Brock Marion.
Looked to me like he was stopped 2 yards short. An excellent illustration of second effort by Kevin Turner. Cowboys had him wrapped up, and yet he still pushed forward for another couple of yards. Boy, look at him lay a lick on Fred Strickland. Oh, baby. Now that's how you take it to a linebacker.
Eagles in the first half, 172. In this half, they didn't have a first down in the third quarter. Remember, the touchdown was scored on the tip and the interception. Waters. Now they've got the ground game in gear as he picks up 8, and Strickland makes the tackle at the 36-yard line. If you joined us late, Rodney Peete hurt in the first half, torn patellar tendon in his knee, surgery probable tomorrow, gone for the season. So the Eagles down to Ty Detmer and Bobby Hoying, and shopping around, I'm sure, this week for another QB.
Of course, salary cap considerations come into play. Quarterbacks aren't cheap. Nobody has a lot of extra money to spend.
2nd and 2, and a great play by Leon Lett.
Boy, he came off the ball. He came with the ball. Beat any attempt at the block.
This is, well, first of all, you're asking the center to try to reach over and block Leon Lett. There's Leon on the left of your screen in the Cowboy. He's already on that side, and that is some type of a flawed blocking scheme. I think you're asking the world of McKenzie to get over there and try to make that block on Leon Lett. That just can't happen.
Maybe something that a Rodney Peete would have automatic got him.
Philly takes a timeout.
Just when you think you've seen it all, they shoot hot dogs into the stands here. Now they're loading one. They put one in the breech. The Eagle gets the hot dog shooter. Oh, watch this.
Is there mustard on it?
I've never seen that.
3rd down and 6 after the timeout from the 40-yard line. And Turner makes the catch. Huge play. Tackled by Darren Woodson at the 20-yard line.
Well thrown football, too. Kevin Turner, as we said earlier, works well out of the backfield. Good receiver. He got himself open. And we're going to have a little replay.
Here we go. You notice
it's a double-barreled hot dog shooter.
Well, it's a dual dog shooter. That's a fine-looking. Hey, after taking the third quarter off, the Eagles offensively have come to life here in the fourth quarter.
Ty Detmer,
this is impressive.
Right on the money with that ball.
And Turner has come up big for them here in quarter number 4.
1st and 10 at the 20. 11:30 to go. Fourth quarter. Cowboys by 6. Turner. And Dion and his pals wrap him up. Brock Marion there on the tackle after a 5-yard gain to the 15.
Ray Rhodes brought Turner in a year ago, and he hurt his knee in the first game, missed the entire season, and the Eagles missed him enormously a year ago. He came back, worked hard, got his job back, and he can do it all. A good blocker. We've seen that tonight also.
Leon Lett, they're trying to spell him in here, as again, that's John Gruden on the right. Charlie Banker, their director of scouting, in the middle. Emmett Thomas. Leon was out that last play. He's back in. They're trying to give him some selective blows. Keep him as fresh as they can.
On 2nd and 5, Waters finds a crease behind a Turner block, picks up 3, and a very large 3rd and 2 coming up.
By and large, this has been a pretty good effort by the Eagles offensive line. They have been battling it out in there. All sorts of added pressure placed on these guys with Rodney Peete in the locker room and out.
There's a no-quit Eagles football team, too. They gave up 20 unanswered points, but they have battled back. They lost their quarterback. And they are still right in a big time.
3rd and 2, and with a young quarterback and a new offense in effect, they're forced to take yet a second timeout on this drive.
I want to see if they can shoot a hot dog up here.
3rd down and 2 for the Philadelphia Eagles after Ray Rhodes' team was forced to use a second timeout, again with Rodney Peete out and the young quarterback in, Ty Detmer. They had to take 2 timeouts along the way, and they have a 3rd and 2 at the 12-yard line. Run blitz, and they stop Ricky Waters as Tolbert is right there at the 11-yard line. Ball is loose, but after the whistle had blown the play dead.
Nobody needs a flag here, guys. Nope. Either one of you. Barrett Brooks, number 76 of the Eagles, is involved in a scrape with somebody, but a flag is a disaster for either one.
Well, this is going to be about a full yard, too, on 4th down, and they're going to bring the field goal team out.
Right. Their other option, if you're going to go for it, would probably compel another timeout, and he's got only 1 remaining. And it would be a Pyrrhic victory to go down and score and use all of your timeouts along the way with 10 minutes to play in the game.
Well, I think that Ray is showing confidence in Detmer in kicking this field goal. He's acting like a man who plans on being in scoring position again.
29-yarder, and it's blocked. Well, that didn't figure into the mix.
No.
Leon Lett blocked it and won't dare think about picking it up.
We saw him deflect a pass earlier. We talked about the many times he had deflected passes, blocked field goal attempts. He just has an amazing way of timing that leap.
Leon blocked one last week in Buffalo, I believe.
There he goes.
Well, he just got way too much penetration. That's just poor blocking up front by the Eagles. Leon gets through there, blocks it.
But to penetrate like that, Dan, also get that height.
Well, he just blew those guys away. I remember being here at the Vet a number of years ago and watching Seth Joyner turn in a monster game for the Eagles defensively. We're seeing that same thing being done tonight by Leon Lett for the Cowboys. It's hard to imagine a defensive tackle playing any better than he's playing.
Whistle.
What's that?
Somebody threw something.
A little rubber football or something
onto the field.
But it's hard to imagine a defensive tackle having a better game than Leon's having tonight.
Object was thrown on the field. No play. An object was thrown on the field.
At least it wasn't an errant hot dog.
Right. I was thinking the same thing.
Hate to see a couple of hot dogs come flying through there. A little green football. That's maybe it was a UFO.
Yeah, Martians are coming. From the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 for Aikman and the Dallas Cowboys. Emmitt Smith, the tailback. And the Big E takes it up to the 24-yard line, where he's tackled by William Thomas. Well, the Cowboys tomorrow get Michael Irvin back, and Irvin with the court trial. And remember, he was given 800 hours of community service, a $10,000 fine, and 4 years of deferred adjudication, which is a fancy way of saying you better keep your nose clean, literally and figuratively, or you're going to jail. But he is back in uniform at their next practice as Emmitt Smith takes the toss, and the play is whistled dead.
I think Michael Zordich wishes the play would have been blown dead a little prior to that.
No play.
He comes around the corner, and Larry Allen decides to just plant him on the turf.
You know, the words we've heard going all the way back to when we saw the Cowboys in Mexico in preseason, where from the coaches, from Ernie Zampese to Barry Switzer, we're out of sync. We're just not flowing. We're not getting it right. And this is part of it. I mean, they've had a bunch of penalties tonight you just have not seen the Cowboys get in the past. This one right here. They needed a good drive here. They hurt themselves.
Second and 11. Blitz is picked up. Pass is knocked down. It's Bobby Taylor, and Aikman is knocked down as well by James Willis.
James Willis knocks Aikman down and then stands there with his arms upraised. Here it is again. This is Woodard, 57, picked up by Emmett. Willis unchecked, really levels Troy Aikman. And that's very good coverage downfield by Bobby Taylor.
Third and 11 at the 19. Aikman under pressure, low throw, 4th down.
Troy Aikman is taking a real whipping tonight at the hands of the Eagles.
Oh, he is. That one he just got rid of to avoid the sack. And the Eagles should get this back in good field position. And that is big-time effort by the Eagles defense. And that's just a 4-man rush, Frank. They didn't blitz that time. That was just good work by the guys up front.
Mark Say back to receive the kick. John Jett to boot it. Not long. Only a 33-yarder. Fair caught at the 47-yard line. Good position to begin this next drive. Here's the lineup tomorrow on ABC Tuesday night. Yes. There go the ratings. First down at the 47-yard line. Detmer pressured, sacked. All the way back at the 37-yard line. Hennings came in first, and then McCormick finished him off.
Well, it's too easy to say that Detmer looks unsure of himself in the pocket, because obviously he is. He spent very little time there, but the Dallas pass rush appears to have him a little bit mesmerized right now.
Just a little faster than the work he's been doing with the scout team.
Second and 19 from the 38-yard line. Little screen, Ricky Waters, and he goes down up at the 41.
Surprised really we haven't seen a little more of the screen on the part of Philadelphia. Indianapolis did such a great job against Dallas with that.
Well, the one thing we have seen repeatedly, I think, is superior play by the Eagles defensively. Now, it's time now, if the Eagles are going to win this ball game, their offense has to do something. They have to do more than just a couple first downs, because I don't think the Eagles defense can play at this level for the balance of the ball game.
No, they have 7.5 minutes, and they've already spent 2 of their 3 timeouts, and they have a third and 15 now from the 41-yard line. They pick up the corner blitz, but then it is knocked away. Ricky Waters almost made the catch, but it would have been well short of the first down. Broderick Thomas was the guy who got a hand on it, and it's 4th down for the Eagles.
Well, Detmer, by the way, goes only 6 feet. It's not that hard to deflect it. He really has to throw between the blockers and the defensive pass rush. Very short in stature.
Tommy Hutton to punt. Kelvin Martin is back to receive it. Hutton angles it to the near side. Martin from the 21. And Kelvin brings it back to the 36-yard line. Decent run back. With 7:02 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Well, hindsight is a wonderful thing, especially for us up here in the booth, but I imagine that if this game ends up being a victory for the Dallas Cowboys, a lot of people will talk about Ray Rhodes, and boy, I wish he would have gone for it on 4th and 1 instead of go for the field goal.
Captain Jim Maloney with a good look at the vet flying around the Goodyear blimp on a beautiful night.
Hard to imagine it could be much nicer. Temperature in the mid-60s.
From the 35-yard line, it's Emmitt Smith, and the only way it could be nicer for the Eagle fans would be if the score were reversed. They led 10-0 early on, and the Cowboys reeled off 20 unanswered points, and Dallas is up by 6 in a game that is clearly vital to the Cowboys.
And a huge hole over in the left side on that play. Nate and Mark doing their job on the left side, Dan.
Well, the Eagles defense has gone to the wall so many times here tonight. I don't know that it's not unrealistic to expect them to force the Cowboys into another 3-and-out situation.
6:24 to go. Smith to the 49-yard line. Emmett has not been spectacular tonight, but he has been efficiently Emmett. I mean, what more can you say? 21 carries, 87 yards, 4.1. He's on his way to a 100-yard night, and he had to give him a 100-yard night to give him a chance to win this game.
And he's going to be busy for the next 6 minutes.
And you have to, you know, it's only speculation, but what percent is Emmitt Smith? 75? I don't think he's any more than that. He's got more nicks and bruises, and there's a guy that desperately needs his upcoming bye week.
2nd down and 7. Flag is thrown. Catch is made by Kelvin Martin.
It's going to be another one of those penalties that is killing the Cowboys all season long. So far, illegal motion. And this is just not thinking.
Illegal motion. 86 offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And this is what Barry was talking to us about last night. They just have too much water in their gas tank. We're just sputtering along.
Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator. Put those cigarettes down, Ernie. Come on.
A penalty will make you light up, won't it?
2nd down and 12 from the 44-yard line. Smith. And Emmett takes it back up to the 48-yard line with 5:25 remaining. Before the game, Jeffrey Lurie with his wife Christina to our left as we look at it, and Jeffrey likes to go out into that parking lot and tailgate with the proletariat.
Well, he has
and any aristocracy out there as well, but you know.
Very deft, Al, getting out of the way.
Ray Rhodes wasn't his first choice, but he was certainly a good choice.
Was he allowing them to eat cake while he was out there?
And he left the tip. 3rd down and 7. Off his back foot, under pressure, incomplete. Intended for Steph Brett Williams, the rookie.
And the Eagles going to get it back.
One of the Eagles is shaken up here, having trouble getting off the field.
And Emmett's shaken up a little bit.
Is that Zordich? Yeah, Michael Zordich.
Oh, and Emmett was shaken up too. He went to the bench.
Well, the good news for both these teams, and in particular for a guy like Emmitt Smith with all of the injuries, is that they're off next week and don't play again until a week from Sunday when they play back-to-back games with the Cardinals and the Falcons.
However this game turns out for the Eagles, I have come away with a real respect for the way they have played this game defensively. Time after time after time, Ray Rhodes' group has forced Dallas to surrender the football and give their offense one more shot. Plus, they've scored a touchdown. They've done just about everything you could ask of a defensive football team.
John Jett to punt it. And it bounces at the 5 and takes a, well, it started to be a pretty good Dallas bounce and wasn't nearly as good by the time it was done. Kangarooed back about 17 yards.
That's where Jett goes, hey guys, thanks for downing it. I really appreciate it.
When it hit and it spun, it looked like they'd pin him inside the 10. Instead, Philadelphia will get it outside the 20. With 4:35 and 1 timeout left, plus the 2-minute warning.
Thing looks like a Phil Mickelson loft wedge, doesn't it? Back that baby up.
Mark Tuanay and the Cowboy offensive line, they've come up big enough tonight in a game that was absolutely vital for Dallas to win.
That's what your approach shots look like on the greens, don't they, Al?
A little draw on it, didn't it?
Hit that baby and suck back.
So do my drives. From the 22-yard line. I've never seen you hit one that high. Ricky Waters picks up 7.
Nor that far.
Thanks, guys.
No, Al's really coming along, though.
Oh, yeah.
working at it.
Bowling.
Ricky Waters
almost lost this ball.
Boy, Darren Woodson puts the helmet right on the football, and that's extremely fortunate for Ricky that he was able to hold on to it.
They talked about his fumbling problems early in the game, but they work on him in practice. They are snapping at the ball, pulling at the ball all the time, and they work in the practice session. He's a little more careful with it.
Now Turner behind a Waters block, and Kevin Turner takes it up to the 35, and that's a first down.
Yep, and a touchdown wins this thing for Philadelphia. They've not shown a lot of signs of being able to move that far. Yes. I think he's well aware of that.
Yep. Fumbling problems. There was a sign here a couple of weeks ago. Ricky, don't lose that football.
Ricky's had some big plays, though. 56 yards for a touchdown against Atlanta a week ago. Another 50-yard run. We've got the people out there in Irving Fryer and Chris Jones that could break a big one.
From the 34-yard line. Detmer. And that's right in the hands of Turner and dropped. Roderick Thomas was right there to cover. Would have been a very short gain.
But it's a type of a rhythm pass that I think that they've got to get Ty Detmer into the habit of throwing. He's got to go back there, stop, plant, and deliver the football. That's, I think, his only chance, Frank, of really completing much of anything.
And that's what the offense calls for.
1, 2, 3, bang, deliver.
And he much more than Rodney Peete. Rodney Peete, much better athlete moving around, where Detmer has got to get rid of the football.
Here it comes.
2nd and 10. And that is incomplete. Tight coverage. Jones wants a flag, and Kevin Smith says, get up.
Kevin Smith is having a super year after coming back from Achilles surgery last year.
Kevin Smith signed a huge contract last year on the eve of the opener, and then tears his Achilles tendon in the opener.
He got
as good as it gets.
Yeah, well, remember, they're still inside that 5-yard zone.
He can make that contact, but he even had the body anticipating that move to the inside with Detmer counting on the blitz.
3rd and 10. Going long and adjusting and making the catch is Mark Say. And a flag is down at the end of the play at the 31-yard line. The catch at the 31. The penalty is going to be against Dallas.
Number 26 defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Now, just when we're talking about Kevin Smith, first he gets beat, and then he gets the penalty. There it is, top of your screen.
Yep, he's riding him well beyond the 5-yard zone. That flag came out way before the reception.
Good catch by Say.
35 yards. Now from the 31, it's Ricky Waters chugging for 2. Under 3 minutes to go. They have 1 timeout and the stoppage at the 2-minute mark.
And they certainly could use those 2 timeouts that they burned earlier in this half. One time in a short yardage situation. Detmer had to come over. But still, for all the things that have gone wrong for the Eagles tonight, to be in a position with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this ballgame, to be in a position to win it is more than they could bargain for. I think they're very fortunate to be in this spot.
2nd and 8. Detmer hit by Thomas as he throws, and then at the 23-yard line, it's Kevin Smith. No, they say. He trapped it. No pick.
Kevin Smith tried to steal one there. He knew that ball was on the carpet. Trapped it, got up, thought he'd give it a look.
That doesn't take away from the fact that Ty Detmer threw it right to him.
So now it's 3rd down and 8 from the 30-yard line. 2:16 left in the 4th. Dallas up by 6. Detmer flings one, and there is no flag as Kevin Smith was there for the coverage.
Yeah, they got their feet tied up, but
He and Fryer.
Just incidental contact. No flag.
You notice not a whole lot going on the other side of the field over in Dion's neighborhood. The Eagles
Last time they were over there, he picked it off.
That's right. Exclusively working the right side of the field offensively. Are they going to go the whole way here on fourth down without challenging Dion?
Fourth down and 8. Down by 6. Ball at the 30-yard line. And the pass over the middle is intercepted at the 8-yard line by George Teague. And the former Packer brings it back out to the 32-yard line, and that should just about write a finish to it.
And Barry going crazy over the attempted. Did he lateral the ball?
He tried to. I think he did.
He specifically told him not to do that.
He's got reason to be mad.
So they got away with it. 2-minute warning.
Barry Switzer, as we saw on the way to commercial, extremely upset that George Teague at the end of that play actually did hand the ball to Darren Woodson. Burned last week in Buffalo on a similar play, and on the intelligence meter, that play by George Teague is in negative numbers. A foolish chance taken when the game is secured, when all you have to, here it is at the very end, there he hands it to Darren Woodson, and again, if there's any type of a collision at that point in time, that ball comes out, and if I'm George Teague, I just start jogging for Dallas because I'm not getting on the airplane.
Woodson very wisely got it on the carpet.
Well, the Eagles can now only stop the clock one time, and the Dallas Cowboys trying to secure a victory that would make them 2-3. It would also put Washington alone on top in the NFC East at 4-1, and the Eagles would drop to 3-2.
But two long-range questions. As we all know, the Cowboys are capable of stringing together a lot of victories. At 2-3, they are very much in it. And secondly, for the Philadelphia Eagles, the question is, where do they go now without Rodney Peete? Where and how far can they go with Ty Detmer? And do they go out onto the open market? The trading deadline, I believe, is October the 8th. And do they go out on the open market and try to find themselves a quarterback?
Well, I think it'd be unthinkable for them not to do it. Ty Detmer is not ever, he's been around for 4 years and not played a heck of a lot.
The salary cap comes into play. How much money can you spend on a quarterback? You're just releasing somebody that still counts against the cap.
Well, each team will really welcome this bye week. Dallas to take care of all the bruises and the injuries and all of that, to get people healthier, to get Michael Irvin back and back into the scheme. And clearly Philadelphia trying to reestablish their quarterback situation one way or another. On 2nd down and 8, Sherman Williams bumps off a would-be tackle. A flag goes down, and for the moment he has a first down up at the 47-yard line. And there is a fallen Eagle, and that is William Fuller, and it's a hold against Dallas to bring the play back.
Fuller's hurt.
Holding number 79, offense. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Looks like his left arm or shoulder, and he's played a heck of a football game tonight.
Emmitt Smith with ribs that were bothering him before the night, and the report from the Dallas bench is that they're bothering him now, and that's why he has the baseball cap on. And Sherman Williams is in there, and Emmitt tonight with 22 carries for 92 yards and a touchdown. Just what the Cowboys needed after a week in which Emmitt picked up 25 yards in 15 carries against Buffalo last Sunday. Sherman Williams is tackled. Philadelphia cannot stop the clock, and so they'll lead up another 40 seconds here.
The Eagles better hope that there's nothing very wrong with William Fuller's left arm.
Meanwhile, the Cowboys are going to have to run a play here. And then there's going to be time for a 4th down play. And so you're looking at it could take a safety, run the ball out of the end zone. We'll see. But they're going to have to run a 4th down play one way or another. Third down and 20 from the 20-yard line. Williams to the 23. So now the play clock goes back to 40. There's the game clock. And Dallas is going to have to run some form of a play here.
A punt.
Yep. Well, of course, the problem is with a punt, you get a bad snap, you get a block punt.
They could run around, kill some time, and take the safety. Then they could punt it, get a free kick from the 20.
What about a 14-second difference
14-second difference. They could take a delay penalty and then a safety. Or take a timeout with 1 second left on the play clock. And that is what they are going to do. They take a timeout with 15 seconds remaining in the game. But the clock will not stop until the ball is snapped on the next play. And Barry Switzer, unless some form of disaster hits him here, will
I bet he's not counted out either.
Will continue that streak of 231 games as a head coach at Oklahoma and Dallas, and never having lost 3 games in a row.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
That's unbelievable. And that includes, I mean, even if he, let's say, lost the last game one year, he never lost 2 the following year. That's any 3-game period.
Well, let's just talk about that career of Barry Switzer's. In that career, I wonder how many games he actually went into that game where he was an underdog.
Good point.
Not very many.
The last time, in fact, the Cowboys were an underdog was in the middle of the '94 season to the 49ers in a regular season game. They were a dog in the NFC Championship game in '94. But tonight they went in as the dog.
Deion Sanders tonight, if you're keeping score, has logged 107 out of 119 possible plays.
Well, Jet's going to run it out of the end zone. He's going to run around, and then he'll take the safety there. And that will make the score 23-19, and now they get the free kick from the 20-yard line.
And that should just about, by the time they return it, should just about take off the final ticks.
Deion, big play early on tonight. Caught a 39-yard aerial from Troy Aikman.
And an interception.
If the Eagles run an offensive play at the end of this ball game, Deion will most certainly be in there for it. That'll bring him up to 108, which will tie 2 of his previous games. He's already had 2 108s, once against the Bears, and he did 108 last week against Buffalo. Chuck, I know you don't like him, but that's still a lot of plays. I know he's a corner and a receiver, and it's not like 108 plays at middle linebacker and center. But it's still more football than anybody's been playing around here in quite some time.
You get off, Chuck. He'll come looking for you.
He's already.
You would know, right?
He's already inflicted enough damage in this booth.
I don't want to run.
I don't want him after me now.
I don't want to run into him again.
Great football player. A legend, an immortal.
If I'd have hit him any harder, I'd have killed him.
Well, now Boniol's going to kick off. And you cannot use a T following a safety. You either have to free kick it or have a holder, which is why Brock Marion holds it in place.
That's because this is going to be the ugliest squib bouncing thing you've ever seen.
Major.
They're not looking for a high arcing punt here.
They want one of the little guys
starts when an Eagle touches the football. At the 19-yard line, Witherspoon. And he can only bring it back to the 40. And there will be enough time for one play here. So in effect, what the Eagles were doing there is figuring they would not try to run it back, but conserve at least one play and throw a Hail Mary. And Bobby Hoying, this is what a
I'm
place.
Sure he's got a stronger arm.
He's got the long arm.
Yeah, what a way to make your NFL debut.
Go in and pull it out.
Yeah, if this was Cordell Stewart. If I were the Cowboys, I'd be worried.
And if they were to go into overtime now, wouldn't he have to stay on as the quarterback?
No, it's the fourth quarter. Had he come in the first 3 quarters.
And there's no way they could go overtime at 23-19.
Well, one play, and they need 60 yards. Well, he won't even have the chance because the ball is knocked loose. The Cowboys pick it up. Time will expire. Roderick Thomas is out of bounds, and Leon Lett caps a tremendous night by making sure that he doesn't even get off a Hail Mary. And Barry Switzer, who came in here and left so ingloriously last year on the 4th and 1 call, leaves as a very happy man with a team that all of a sudden went from being given last rites down 10-0 early tonight to 2-3, and a little bit of the old Dallas Cowboys reemerged this evening.
Given the makeup of the National Football League, there is no team that is a dominant team this year, at least at this point in time. And the Dallas Cowboys, even with only 2 victories, are very much right back in it.
Well, tonight, 27 points were officially scored in the red zone. And if this score matches the number under your Coca-Cola bottle cap or can tab, then you could be a winner. You send it to the address that shows right there on your screen and see what happens. 27 red zone points. We go to Kansas City next week. It's a great matchup. It's the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tonight here in Philadelphia, Dallas wins it by a score of 23-19. Now this is Al Michaels for Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, and Lynn Swan saying good night from Philadelphia.
I'm Wayne Gretzky. Are you ready for some football?
Marcus Allen, the great running back of the Kansas City Chiefs, has been playing professional football for 15 years. Much has happened in the world since 1982 when Allen was a rookie with the Los Angeles Raiders and the president was Ronald Reagan. A year later, Allen was the Super Bowl's most valuable player as he led the Raiders to the World Championship. Year after year, Marcus Allen has more than just endured. He has played the game at the highest level. 6 Pro Bowl appearances. Season after season, the game has been graced by his stylish elegance. He has had a prominent role in the recent success of the Chiefs. The best record in football last season, a 4-1 start to this year. In an era when the average career of an NFL running back is less than 5 years, Marcus Allen is now in his 15th NFL season. He plays tonight as the AFC champion Pittsburgh Steelers face the Kansas City Chiefs on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Red alert in Kansas City.
Well, it's Monday night and we're ready to strike. Our special forces are in full flight. The Steelers are armed with their heavy guns. The Chiefs want to make them turn back and run. We got to get ready. We got to get right. They're wearing the war paint and Arrowhead tonight. So get ready. I mean, get ready. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. We got Frank and Al and Dan. They're going to get it kick-started. Lynn and the crew's all set. The crowd is fight. Because all my rowdy friends are about to
Kansas City, Missouri on a beautiful night for football. The temperature in the 50s, expected to drop through the 40s, and Arrowhead Stadium will be jam-packed tonight, just under 80,000 expected. A great setting for tonight's matchup between 2 of the AFC's finest. The Kansas City Chiefs take on the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football. Hello again, everyone. Frank Gifford with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf. And what a setting this is. If you've never been here, you should come someday. It is a great place for a football game. Kansas City coming into tonight, they are 4-1. They need a win tonight to stay with Denver on top of the AFC West. Pittsburgh comes in having their bye behind them. They are 3-1. They need a win tonight to stay one ahead of Houston in the AFC Central Division. So many sidebars to tonight's game. Bill Cowher, the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, played and coached for Marty Schottenheimer, the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. They remain great friends. They both won their divisions a year ago, and everyone thought that this was the game they would see for the AFC Championship. But as everyone knows, Kansas City, with the best record in the NFL last year, 13-3, were knocked out of the playoffs by Indianapolis in the first round. Pittsburgh, of course, went on to lose in the Super Bowl to Dallas. And now, while Pittsburgh has made a lot of changes, Kansas City has sort of stayed pat. They're almost a identical team. But Pittsburgh, they have made a lot of changes.
And Bill Cowher has really done a marvelous job this season alone, Frank, because they had a disaster on opening day. They lost to Jacksonville on the road. They lost Greg Lloyd, the all-pro linebacker. They had to make a quarterback change. They went from Jim Miller to Mike Tomczak. They've asked Tomczak to be efficient. That's exactly what he's been. But this team wins because they have a very good defense. They're number 5 in the National Football League right now, despite the absence of Lloyd. And they have the number 1 ranked running game in the NFL at the moment, thanks to a monster truck, a reclamation project from St. Louis by the name of Jerome Bettis, who's averaging 5 yards per carry. So they'll win by running the ball, and they'll win with defense. And keep in mind, this is a team that's playing its toughest game for a month and a half tonight. Their schedule is very soft over the next 6 weeks. If the Steelers win tonight in Kansas City, the road to the Super Bowl could very well once again go through Pittsburgh. But Dan, much easier said than done, because the Chiefs have won 11 consecutive regular season games right here.
And much like Pittsburgh, Al, at home on Monday night, they're unbeatable as well. Here in the 90s, the Kansas City Chiefs are 6-0 when playing a Monday night game here at Arrowhead. More than one coach and player in the National Football League will tell you that this is the noisiest outdoor stadium in the National Football League. And when you're here on a Monday night, that's very easy to believe. Now, Marty Schottenheimer coach teams have always done one thing very well, and that is run the football. Last year, this Chiefs team was the number 1 rushing team in the National Football League. This year, they are not. They are down 40 yards a game in rushing, and that has hurt the Chiefs. Even though they have a 4-1 record, that weakness was exposed last week by San Diego. They limited the Chiefs to below 60 yards rushing, forced Steve Bono to throw 54 times, and that's why they won the ball game. It won't be easy rushing the ball against Pittsburgh tonight. Right now, Marty Schottenheimer, though, he's down on the field with our Lynn Swan.
Thank you very much, Dan. Marty, 2 of the best defensive teams in the National Football League. You love to be aggressive, and everybody wants to blitz. You were quoted as saying the way they keep the Steelers out of their blitzes, keep the offense out of 3rd and 5. How do you get that done?
Well, we're going to have to run the ball some tonight, Lynn, to be able to do that. Clearly 2 very, very good football teams in as fine a venue as you can have for any professional sporting event. This is what makes the National Football League great.
And we've seen some great performances here on Monday night, which leads me to my second question. If everybody plays up to their level on paper, how do you win a ball game like this? 1 or 2 players playing above that level, mistakes, turnovers?
I think it'll come down to the ability to hang on to the football, and whichever team has the ability to run the ball most effectively tonight's probably going to come out on top.
Marty, thank you very much. And now, once again, we have the student and the teacher facing each other.
Yes, we do. They faced each other in the playoffs here in a classic game 3 years ago, which the Chiefs pulled out in overtime, back of Joe Montana. Pete Stoyanovich, the longtime Miami Dolphin, who came over in a preseason trade to put it in the air. And we're underway in Kansas City as the kick comes down to the 6-yard line. Charles Johnson, one of the Pittsburgh wide receivers, gets knocked down at the 15. Good kick coverage for what has been a deficient Kansas City kick coverage unit. Mike Tomczak is the quarterback with 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And he's won 3 in a row, taking over from Jim Miller. We talked about Bettis at the top, and the blocking back is Lester. Johnson and Thigpen, who's been shelled with a hamstring, back in the starting lineup. Bruno, the tight end. Good offensive front. Jackson, Wolford, Dawson, Stye, and Strelzik. A lot of experience, tremendous quality, paving the way for Bettis and for Eric Pegram most of the year, though Pegram tonight is inactive. From the 15-yard line, Bettis swings to the outside and can't get started. Good swarming coverage by the Kansas City defense. And we'll take a look at them now. They play the base 4-3 with the great Neil Smith, Phillips, Saliamua, and Booker up front. Then the linebackers, Derek Thomas, the all-pro, Simeon in the middle, and Anthony Davis. And the secondary, James Hasty is hurt. He won't play tonight. Inactive Darren Anderson takes his spot with Carter at the corners. Washington and the former New York Giant Collins are the safeties. Second down and 13. Neil Smith with the designer nose band per usual. Tom Zach at quarterback and Cordell Stewart in the game. In the backfield, they fake a toss to him, and then Tom Zach throws over the middle, and it is caught as he jams it into Bettis, despite Washington saying it should be no catch. The officials confer and say it is a catch up at the 28-yard line, and they'll move the stick. 16-yard gain.
Well, Bettis working out of the backfield, deep downfield. That really is not his territory, and he made a superb effort to come down with the football. Al pointed out he's had a 100-yard plus game in the last 3 games. He has really recaptured it. And he fought for this football. Took it away from a couple of chief defenders and gets the first down.
Bettis' longest reception of this young season. First down, Pittsburgh from the 28-yard line. Tom Zach throws, and a flag goes down, and flag 2 of them. Dale Carter getting tangled up with Yancey Thigpen.
Carter hooked his arm, and the officials were all over that with flags coming from everywhere.
Well, yeah, I think you could tell by the reaction of Dale Carter that he's well aware of the fact he just inadvertently got hooked up, and there's just no way around this.
Number 34 on a defense. First down, Pittsburgh.
And on a first down play, this is really not a very critical. Well, that's not inadvertent. That was completely by design by Dale Carter. And when you look at, in terms of penalties, that's about as minimal a penalty as you could have on an interference call.
For the Steelers, they have Yancey Thigpen back. He's healthy. Their leading receiver of a year ago. Played a little bit last week after missing 3 games.
7-yard penalty, as it turns out. First down, a double tight end set, and a fake toss. A flag goes down, and then Tom Zach just dumps the ball off. Pressured by Dan Saliamua. The referee tonight is Howard Rowe. It was Saliamua who jumped, and the penalty is against him, and that will make it first down and 5.
Offside. Defense. Nose guard in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, these are normally the kind of mistakes that you might see the visiting team making in a noisy environment, not necessarily the home team. Back to back, you see Saliamua moving there. Penalties here on the defensive unit of the Chiefs. A kind of an awkward beginning for Kansas City.
First and 5, and here is Bettis looking for room over the left side, and he picks up about 3. Setting up a second down and 2 is Vaughn Booker. The right end makes the hit.
Pittsburgh anticipating, Dan, they're going to have to go on a lot of silent count because of the noise. You might explain what that is, and it really handicaps the offensive lineman.
Well, silent count, what it does is the lineman gets set, and there's a signal. They know that when everyone is set, anytime after that, the ball can be snapped. It's snapped at the discretion of the center there, number 63, Dermontti Dawson. Probably the best center in the NFL right now. And you're left to look at the football and move accordingly.
Bettis on second and 2, and he's been doing this all season long. Wore out his welcome with the Rams. Dale Carter finally stops him. Got off to a brilliant start when he came out of Notre Dame with the Rams. Had several 100-yard games early in his career, then fell out of favor, and the Rams found him expendable, and Pittsburgh said, you bet we'll take him.
Well, the Rams do not have what could be described as a dominating offensive line. Not a clean handoff there by Bettis. And right now, Jerome Bettis, I think, is the guy that has gone from driving a pickup truck to all of a sudden being handed the keys to a NASCAR champion race car, running behind what might be the best run-blocking line in the league.
And his running mate, Eric Pegram, who's injured, cheering him on from the sideline, and reaching out is Yancey Thigpen for a terrific catch at the 20-yard line. Yancey Thigpen, who's been hurt and hobbled, and gets back into the starting lineup tonight, and he is 100% after that grab.
85 receptions from a year ago, and they've been kind of waiting for him to get back. He's been slow in coming back from the injury, and a good move over there against Darren Anderson, where James Hasty is out of the ball game. Ordinarily we'd find Hasty there, and they're not going to fool around. They're going to go right to work on Anderson, but a superb catch.
I'm not sure James Hasty could have kept that pass from being caught. That's a spectacular effort by Thigpen.
Yancey's first catch of the season. 3.5 minutes into the game. Good Pittsburgh opening drive. They fake it to Stewart on the end around. A lot of time for Tom Zach. Throws into the end zone and is picked off by Carter.
Mike had his guy wide open and was way late delivering the football.
And then he tried to float it up there. And Dale Carter, two-time Pro Bowler at the corner, superb athlete.
If he that's John Whitman going down the sideline. Look how open he is. But Tomczak late in delivering the football. Dale Carter able to react. A mistake by Tomczak. Kansas City, INT.
Steve Bono, 12th year quarterback, leading the Chiefs up to the line at the 20-yard line after the Dale Carter interception. 11:10 to go. First quarter with no score in Kansas City, and they begin with the ageless wonder Marcus Allen picking up 2 to the 22. Behind Bono, you have Allen with Kimball Andrews, who went to the Pro Bowl last year. Pan and Vanover playing despite bruised ribs. He had broken ribs, in fact, and Cash the tight end. Alt, Zott, Grunhard, Shields, and Sigler. Very good offensive line. Dale Carter, we'll see him on both sides of the ball. He's pulling a mini Dion these days. He figures to be in for about 6 to 10 plays offensively as a wide receiver. 2nd and 8 from the 22-yard line. Here's Marcus swinging to the outside, picking up 2 more to the 24. 3rd down and 6. 4.5 minutes into the game. Now the Steelers play a 3-4. Buckner, Steed, and Henry up front. Minus Lloyd now. They have Gilden back. He's been hurt. Kirkland moves inside. Has done a great job with Osowski and Brown going outside. And then a great secondary. Woodson and Williams, Lake and Perry. And in each of the last 3 games, the Steelers have intercepted a pass and run it back for a touchdown. As you look at Greg Lloyd, injured on opening day, gone for the year after knee surgery. 3rd and 6 with Allen in motion. And they stay on the ground and give it to Anders. Good call to the short side of the field.
Whoa! I'll block for you. Hey! Are you ready for some football?
The Dallas Cowboys have been merrily riding along for the past few years. They've won the Super Bowl in 3 of the last 4 seasons. But this year, the Cowboys have taken some hits and been sent reeling. Opening night in Chicago, the Cowboys' loss left them scrambling to get on board the winner's wagon. When the Colts came to Dallas, a field goal attempt to win the game hit the crossbar. The loss hit Dallas hard. On to Buffalo last week, but Troy Aikman and the Cowboys were cut down once again, thrown for yet another loss. Now the Super Bowl champions are on the run, and Troy Aikman knows it.
We're going to test the resolve of this football team and see what type of characters we have, and I believe we're going to make a run at this thing.
The Cowboys better get moving before the season ends up a disaster. Only the strong survive in the wild, wild Eastern Division of the NFC. So it's off to Philadelphia for a big game with the Eagles on ABC's Monday Night Football.